Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's the grinding after dark. How you doing? Yo, Buck Roger, what's up? The game night. How you doing? Thank you. It is a late night. There's some sand in the gears and grind them. Yep. Oh man, what a day! What a Monday! My goodness, goodness, goodness. So, yeah, today I'm gonna talk about this whole Spider-Man. Yo, Salty, what's up? We're going to talk about Spidey swinging his way into the Avengers. Raymond Flo, how you doing? And I finally finished The Last of Us 2. I took my time, went through it, and I got some opinions on it. And I'll let you know if it's spoiler territory when I start the spoiler talk in case you have not finished this amazing game and story. Yo, Callie, how you doing? Oh, no. Sorry, Callie. Yeah, you know what's funny is that I didn't know what I was gonna do if I was gonna grab some time to get this thing done. But you know what? I was like, I just finished. I really wanted to get that Last of Us out, but then Sony dropped some news today with the Spider-Man thing, and that kind of shook the world. And I can't not speak about that and ignore it, and just the responses and oh my god, what it did, and people crying and. Oh my god, and the controller. Oh my god, what a day, what a day. A lot of tissues. But we're going to talk about it because you know what? It needs to be spoken about. So with that, everybody, this is Jez77, what grinds my gears, and let's go. So. Oh, cool, man. Cool, Rainflow. Cool. No. Yeah. No. I'm not calling out anybody and doing this stuff. But anyway, we'll see where it goes. We'll see if I get wound up. We'll see. I don't know. It's usually I don't know, the grinds at night sometimes. Sometimes I'm just tired and I'm like, you know what? I wanted to get my thoughts out there. Mostly, I didn't want to wait and try to do this, like a time during the day and stuff like that. So, hopefully, you guys, if it's too late for you guys, just catch it on the replay. Thank you again for the replay and thank you again for the support. The growth on the channel has been huge. I'm approaching 500 subscribers, and my last couple of videos, that other one's at 1.5K, which I never even thought I would even get 100 views when I did this thing, and now the other one is almost at 700 views, the last one. I can't believe it, and I appreciate you guys' support, and again, it's just this is my opinion. This is how I feel. I'm passionate about gaming. I'm passionate about Xbox because Xbox, I followed it for so long. I was in it for so long that just to see the things that they have done and what they have done, and I've approached every single move that they've done with some skepticism in what the long-term thing would be and the devastation to it. And we're seeing that happen. So that's why I continue to speak about it, because this is the kind of stuff that a couple of years ago I was mentioning this stuff and people thought I was crazy. And now we're seeing it firsthand, and we're seeing what this does. So, some people, I think people are coming and getting wise to it. I'm passionate about controls. I was passionate about controllers, but not just for different colors, like, but yeah, not just like Midnight Blue and Recon White and all that. Those are lame as hell. But I like themed controllers for games. Like that's what they should have done. But yeah, like back in 2013. And I was thought about even doing a video like that, about this whole 2013 versus now. Like I'm gonna do one like that. Because this is really, looking at polls and stuff like that, this is really, really rough. Like I think the only way that they could get China any traction right now is either dropping Xbox Live Gold, which I already stated I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to try to get everybody to upgrade to Game Pass, like maybe a mid-tier Game Pass, or just completely bottom out the Series X. Like, that thing's like 300, maybe $350, $400, and the PlayStation come out at $500-$600. That's the only way that I think that they can turn this ship around is like, just bottoming out that Series X. But if they got that pretty old little Lockhart, which they plan on announcing this month, we'll see. But that's not what today's about. Or who knows? Maybe it will be. I don't know. I usually go digress on everything because this is grinds my gears. And, whatever I want to talk about, I talk about. And the grinders tell me what their opinion is and what they want me to talk about. But what I wanted to talk about today, woo-wee, friggin' first, let's talk controllers. Because I'm passionate about controllers. No, let's talk about controls. So at first, today, a recap, Sony comes out and says that they're speaking about the peripheral support on the PlayStation 5. One of the things that's striking comes out of this thing is that your DualShock 4 will work on the PlayStation 5. However, the DualShock 4 will only work on PlayStation 4 games, not on PlayStation 5 games. Now, if you remember Jeff Keighley, he did his he did his show and things like that and showed the features of the DualSense control, which is the DualShock 5 or whatever the hell, the PlayStation 5 controller. And, he blew on it, give it a good blow. He, it has the adaptive trigger. It has those triggers that adaptive that they actually have tension in them, which I can't wait to try out in a shooting game or a driving game, and have definitely time of rumbles, almost like that 3D rumble supposedly what Nintendo had in theirs. And guys, as you come in, hit that like button, share it out. Let's try to get the grinders. I know it's late, grinders, but you never know. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button. Because you never know when I'm going to go live. Because you never know what's going to grind my gears. So, the PlayStation 4 DualShock works on the PlayStation 5, but not with the PlayStation 5 games. So, now I understand it. Kind of reminds me of why they put Kinect in the box. Because they wanted the developers to use that, the feature of Kinect. So, if they just made Kinect an accessory, then, what's up, 2JZ? What's up? If they made it just an accessory, then developers wouldn't develop for it. And actually, neither strategy worked because they still didn't develop for the Kinect. Similarly, now with the DualSense 5, the DualSense, Sony wants to make sure that all the PlayStation 5 games have that next-gen feel and use the features and use the capabilities of the DualSense 5. So if you're making a PlayStation 5 game, that game will use the DualSense. Now, I don't know how this works over on cross-gen games. I'm assuming that the DualShock 4 will work on backwards compatible games, which is okay. Now, for me, my opinion, what's up, Link? How you doing? My opinion is that next-gen features for a next-gen experience, I'm in. Let's go. New games, new controller, new hardware. Let's go. I'm all in. Next generation. Now I'm ready. My thing is that if the DualShock works with the PlayStation 4, I can understand the inconvenience. And I was thinking about, my son's friends come over, if I have a couple more people that want to use it, which is not very familiar, but I could see it for somebody's issue, is like, having that DualShock 4 there being like, well, are you playing a PlayStation 5 game? Oh, well, I don't have enough controllers then. If the PlayStation 4 game, but it's still on the PlayStation 5, I have a DualShock that you could use. So, if it's I could see where the confusion lies with that, and, it could be a little bit of inconvenience. Like, do I keep all my DualShock 4s, or I get rid of them and get all DualSenses? I'm probably going to go with DualSenses, you know what I mean? Because that's what I typically do, because just recall, this generation, none of our controllers worked. Actually, the craziest thing is that the PlayStation had better compatibility with the PlayStation 3 than the Xbox One, which is pretty crazy. And I could tell you this because I was there. Xbox had a lot of issues at the beginning of the Xbox One. It didn't support anything from the 360. The PlayStation actually supported PlayStation 3 arcade sticks. It supported the guitar peripherals when Rock Band came out. It supported some of the wheels, like just traditional USB wheels that worked with PC. There was a lot of compatibility with the PlayStation 4. And today, you could just plug in any USB headset that works with PC and it works. Voice chat and everything. Xbox still needs to have a headset that works just with that. So when you want to, and you know what? Another thing, you needed to have that little adapter in order to use your headsets with the controller, because Microsoft put a special thing in the bottom of their controller, not a headphone jack, and you needed to use that special adapter. I remember buying my first Turtle Beach headsets. I couldn't use any of my headsets from the 360 generation. I had tons. Couldn't use them. I couldn't use the Xbox first party wheel. I couldn't use. So this kind of stuff happens, and it happened really bad at the beginning of the 360. So I think it's pretty telling, that people are trying to use this as making fun, like, ah, ha, ha, ha. I could see that, it's not the full compatibility that you would want, but I understand the need for it, and I want new features. Oh, Buck Roger, anti-consumer goes around real fast, and you want to know what? You had to live it to know the bullshit. I'm going to tell you another thing. You want to talk about backwards compatibility and compatibility with Rock Band. Remember Rock Band when that was coming back? PlayStation, you could just plug in your USB controllers, plug in your wireless ones. It worked wirelessly with the PlayStation. You could use all your guitars. Xbox, I had to buy a $20 device that was a little black box that I had to plug into the Xbox One in order for it to recognize my legacy wireless guitars. You had to buy a special, I think it was 20 or 15, or it was between $10 and $20. And that thing will let you do that, unless you had to buy all new guitars for the Xbox One. New, because it uses different wireless technology. Same thing goes with the headsets. I could not just use headphones on the Xbox. There was no wireless headsets. I had to use the Xbox $80 headset or the $70 headset for compatibility. To use that, wait for Turtle Beach to ship me the little dongle so I could use a real surround sound, because I was doing everything in stereo. So you want to talk compatibility and people using it, the Xbox One had a rough start. It wasn't until like about 2 years in before they put a headphone jack in the controllers. They took out the IR sensor. They still never supported any of the legacy, headphones or even their steering wheel or their HD DVD player, but they wouldn't do that. But the steering wheel, even their wireless headsets. I had a Halo wireless headset, a Call of Duty one, little Bluetooth headsets that you'll just put in your ear just to do chat. None of them worked. So that there's a lot, if you want to talk about compatibility, that probably they have to face now with this one. But you got to understand where you're coming from, because the thing is that this is a next generation. There's next generation features, a next generation console. They believe in generations. The Xbox Series X, to this day, looks more like a remastered Xbox One X and more of another mid-gen refresh or an end-of-generation refresh. This is just a continuation with just more power and let's move ahead. This is not a stopgap. This is not you're going to start a new generation of new technology and new experiences. And it's not working. And after this, and you could see in the games that they're showing, the type of messages that they're sending, it's very confusing and it's not clear. There's not a definitive line and there's not a reason to upgrade. Unless you just love Xbox and you want the 12 teraflops. That's about it, because that's all they talked about that was pretty much effective, was just the power talking about it, but they still haven't shown it. And, that's an issue. And Sony, with the stopgap, is able to demonstrate and say, you need to get this. With the Spider-Man, or Ratchet & Clank, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and other games, even timed exclusives that they got. So, I understand, the fact that it's just a little confusing. My suggestion was like, hey, you either support the DualShock like that, or you go, you know what, screw the DualShock 4, everything works with DualSense. The fact that it works with backwards compatibility is okay. It still connects, but it would have been just fine if, just don't give me the DualSense features and just let me at least control the game, because I'll just keep a DualShock around, especially the one that I bought, the anniversary one. The anniversary controller, I'll keep that one. The other ones will go back with the systems. But, at least I'll keep one just around. So I will, just for backward compatibility games or stuff like that. And who knows, maybe they patch it and it works. But maybe the initial message right now is that we just want the DualSense to be utilized. And I can understand that, because it kind of goes like, hey, if you just support all these old-ass controllers, nobody's going to run out and buy DualSenses. Remember, if you look at the MPDs every month, the top accessory is usually either an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller. That's usually what it is. So there's a lot of those DualShocks out there, and a lot of people probably wouldn't want to go buy another 5 and 6 of them. Now, for Xbox, they want to have their controls over. Well, they pushed a lot of controllers. You could order custom controllers from their website and all the colors and all that other stuff. And all they did was slap a share button on their next gen controller and said that we updated the D-pad. That's about it. So, yeah, so we all knew that was going to work for PS4 games for months. It just was the PS5 games. It would have been nice if it just controlled it. Yeah, it didn't do all the blowing and the dual sense and all, and you just lose out on that. But the fact that it doesn't work at all, I guess, yeah, it is just like, it is what it is. You know, I don't care. I'm going to buy like I do every generation. It comes with one of them. I'm going to get 2 consoles. So I'm going to 2 controllers, and then I'm going to get an extra one. And maybe if they come out with another color, I'll get a third one down the line. But that's basically what I do every generation. I at least get 2. You know, you get 2 of them. Exactly. And that's the ZX, the D. That's exactly what they're doing. They want you to use the new features. Like if they said, hey, all your control. Yes, you're right too, Buck Roger. That's the other thing. You could use it on the PC. I use it on the PC too. All the time. Like it works great. And actually the touchpad is really cool because it controls the mouse. So like, yeah, I'll just keep one for that. Actually, it was funny because that's what I kept my 360 one for. My Xbox One controller for, my Elite. But that thing just started falling apart. And when I found out how you could use the PlayStation controller on there, yo, it's awesome. So yeah, I'll keep that for PC gaming. So like it works. It's actually a Bluetooth controller. Like it'll work with your phone and all that other stuff. Like actually it'll work with xCloud. Ooh, when you want to take a shit. You know, and you can play some Gears 5 or whatever, or some Grounded when you're taking a deuce. Play a deuce while you take a deuce, you know? You never know, right? Yay! Thanks, Phil. When I'm taking a deuce, I think of you. Because I'll be playing some deucey games while I'm doing that thing. But, so it works, all right? But a lot of people were going, oh, look, this is not consumer friendly. That was going around today, this whole anti-consumerism. But as quickly as that story came about, and people were trying to use this as like, oh, this is today's battle, we're going to say how Xbox with, you know, we slapped on a share button, we slapped on a snapshot. You know, it's funny because I was with Six, Human, and Jemiah today on the shout out to those guys. You know, they're like, well, so wait, you can't take snapshots with the controller on the new one, you know, like on the old console, because you're going to need that share button is a convenience that's only on the next generation Xbox, the Series X. Like the other one, you got to go into the screen, you got to hit the sidebar, where the other one, you just hit the button to say, take a screenshot, you know? So, and I don't know, chat, you could tell me if I'm wrong, Grinders, does the new Xbox controller work with the old systems? I think it does. Isn't backwards compatible with the new control? I know all the controllers work forward, but does the new controller work? I should, because all it is a share button. It does, Link, right? Yeah, it's just backwards forward compatibility. So you go get a new one, you could get the new share button and take a picture with a button. You need something the Switch had day one, and Microsoft says it does. Yeah, like I said, it's a mid-gen refresh. And I said this as soon as they started announcing the Series X. This is basically the launch plan of the Xbox One X. This is the same exact thing. Everything works, blah, 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 blah. Everything from the past works in the future, and everything in the back, except Kinect. Kinect's done. But everything else works, you know. So, good on them. But the thing is that there's caveats to it. Yeah, they don't believe in generations at all. Even though they believe in generations of games. Old-ass games. Because those are the only games that you should play them. Because all the new ones are not too hot. So, you know, if they want to use that as their marketing term and stuff, they should. Because I guess it's better than what PlayStation has right now with the DualShock. It's a little limitation. Because right now, the things that Microsoft has been showing has been horrible. Has been just very bad. And as quickly as this starts to roll out today about people going, oh, let's talk about anti-consumer and Sony is, you know, being this. The other things that came out was that all your VR stuff works. We knew this, but it was confirmation. All the VR stuff, the camera, the Move controllers, the visor, all works with the PlayStation 5. Awesome. Great that the camera does too, because you don't have to buy that new camera, which I would like to know if that new camera is going to have better tracking or anything like that. but it all works. Also, a huge thing, and you saw my photograph, I have a play seat with a steering wheel. And, the steering wheels are like $200, $300. Like, they were expensive. I think I traded in a console to get one of those things because I had to play VR driving. So my setup works great. So I got my wheel, which works both on PC and on PlayStation, and my rig, the play seat setup. Now all I gotta do is just plug in into a PlayStation and PlayStation 5, and now I'm playing the new Gran Turismo. Boom, in my play seat. Awesome. And I don't have to go buy another steering wheel. Works great. All that, the tension and all that other stuff still works. So that was huge because that was like, that's annoying because then you got to try to set that up and buy a new wheel. Those wheels are expensive. Like the seats expensive. The seats are right, but they're both about the same. But like the wheel is they're kind of, they get up there, especially if you want to get the cool pedals and stuff like that. I never got the shifter because I'm not into the whole stick shifting, but yeah, I just wanted to be like Dave and Buster's, So I got my Dave and Buster's going on. So I'm glad that I don't have to buy new wheels because that sucked. That was one of the biggest things, like I was mentioning before with the 360. They had a great wheel. The 360 friggin' first party wheel was incredible. It had the force feedback. It used the same battery packs that the friggin' controllers used, and you could use it without the force feedback. Or if it's not plugged in, it could be on your lap. It was great. It was a great wheel, but you couldn't use it. You couldn't. They did not support the Xbox 360 wheel, and that was one thing that they did so great in the 360. They had some great first-party accessories. They had. I'm not saying the HD DVD player, but they had some great little headsets. The little ones that you put in your ear for Bluetooth. They had. They had all the. They had the chat pad. They had the wheel. They did all that kind of stuff. It seemed like this generation they just partnered with like the people who made those things. Those battery packs, they didn't last. But they lost some batteries and stuff like that, the battery power. But yeah, like they had some cool stuff, but that did not work. So so I'm glad that the wheel works and the VR works. Like, I can't wait to hear more about it because they're still going to speak more about it. It'll be great if it just jacks up a little bit, like super resolution. I've seen that on the Vive. So that will be neat as well. But yeah, like, so as this was going on, we have basically, and also the aim controller too. I have that, the VR aim controller, that will work as well, which that's supported in about like a few games, which speaking about spiders, man, playing Farpoint, when those things jump at me, I can't do that, dude. That things jump at me, they scare the hell out of me on Farpoint. Even though it's an incredible game to use that aim controller, but then you get the sweats and then you get the craziness. But I get when those spiders jump at me, I gotta take it off. I'm like, I'm done, and I always kill those guys first. When I see the little spiders crawling in the distance, I gotta kill them because I know they're gonna jump at the screen and they freak me out, especially if I get caught off guard. Even I know they're coming, they freak me out. But speaking of spiders,
now whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
Sony drops the mic. And they go. Spider-Man is an exclusive character in the Ubisoft's, or Square Enix's Avengers game. Only on PlayStation. They got Spider-Man in that game. And he's not playing on anybody else's system, PC or Xbox. Well, if you want to hear the sound of Twitter when that came out, oh yeah, that was the Twitter. Yes, hit that like button, guys. Share it out. Let's get the grinders in after dark. Oh yeah. That was the Twitter world. You had PlayStation guys running around saying Sony did it. They're like, they did it. Spider-Man's in the Avengers. I'm going to pre-order it. And then the Xbox guys were like,
Don't do that.
You son of a bitch.
And then they reached out to Phil for comment. And Phil said this.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So when we thought about how can we...
No, Phil, we're not talking about Game Pass. We're talking about why is Spider-Man an exclusive on PlayStation. And then he goes, he's scrambling, and they try to ask Phil, like, Phil, what is going on here? What is going on? And he's just like...
Means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our...
Okay, Phil, thanks. So, yeah, like, he has work to do there, and he has to fix it. But, yeah, so, like, basically, this is anti-consumer. Dude, this anti-consumer thing, Jesus Christ. I never heard of this stuff. Like, I don't know if this Phil Ness has run wild, made people just soft and upset. But, like, Sony owns Spider-Man. They argued this when Spider-Man was released, and they're like, "Oh, this is a timed exclusive. There's no way they could hide Spider-Man from us. Spider-Man is going to be coming to PC and Xbox guaranteed. No way they're losing all that money." No. It's an exclusive deal. This is the value that they find in using this game as leverage to get you to buy the hardware and stuff. Anti-consumer. Okay. They have a product. In order to get you to get that product, they put content for that product that is only on that product. Let's look at Apple Game Pass. Google Game Pass. Are people complaining on Google Game Pass that I can't play Apple Game Pass? People on Apple Game Pass going, I can't play my Google Play Game Pass. Other people who subscribe to Hulu are complaining that Stranger Things is not on Hulu. The people on Netflix are like, oh, The Handmaid's Tale. Why is that not Netflix? Is McDonald's upset that Burger King sells a Whopper? Why can't get a Whopper at McDonald's? Guys, why doesn't the Gap sell J. Crew? Why doesn't Abercrombie sell Victoria's Secret? People, there's unique things that people do. You come to a store to buy their products. Like, this is consumerism. This is consumerism. This is what happens. People, you make a product and you make things that make people come in. You know, when one place has a sale, that's to get you to come to their store. Look at all the doorbusters. You know? Look at all. Whoa. Why does Best Buy have this thing on sale for this price and this place doesn't have it on sale? Because Best Buy wants you to come to their store. Is that anti-consumer? You want to know what anti-consumer is? Making me go out and trying to finesse me in buying a $500 system that you are not making games specifically for. Or for you having me try to convince me to subscribe to a service that your content, the whole point of subscribing to the service is for your first-party content, and all of your first-party content comes out half-baked. And the real service is pay us while we fix the game. That's anti-consumer. That's you not getting your money's worth. That's you buying something for face value, but you're not getting the true value of what it is. Let's go to a store, and I'm going to go buy a hamburger. It says it's $9.99. Okay, I'm going to buy this hamburger for $9.99. Well, actually, you know what? Let's make it a $13 hamburger because this is an expensive place, right? You go get a hamburger. When I pay $13.99, I'm like, okay, here comes the burger. It's going to have lettuce, tomato, everything that says on the menu. Here's Thank you. Here it comes. What the fuck's this? It's just a bun. Sir, we will be bringing you the meat in a little bit. If you stick around, we'll bring you the meat, and then and we'll bring some lettuce and tomatoes after that. And then the French fries will come after that. So I hope you have a few hours here. But you know what? Why don't you pay now? Give me the $13.99 right now, the $14.99 for the burger, and we'll just keep giving you stuff, and then hopefully after a few hours, then your burger will be better. That's anti-consumer. A contractor. That's right. Like, that's a contractor, right? Like, seriously. That's Phil Ness Infinite. Yeah, that's Phil Ness. That's consumer friendly. Take my money now. Give me my $15.99 for the subscription, and we'll give you here's a bunch of Game Pass fodder. Oh, but you come for the first party content, right? Well, here it comes. 10-year plan. Oh shit. 10-year plan. The first year looks like fucking dog shit. It'll be 10 years. But that's anti-consumer. Well, hey, I buy a ticket to a show. I can't wait to see the headline. Oh my God. What? Wait a second. I got to tune in here because the headliner is Halo Infinite. You tell me I got to tune in. Oh my God, let me tune into this show. That's the headliner. That's the reason why I'm here. And you go, and the headliner fails. Is that anti-consumer? It's a bait and switch. It's bullshit. Anti-consumer that's stupid bitch terms. Cut it out. It's goddamn business. Just because Phil is spreading himself thin and trying to make kumbaya and going, we're trying to grow gaming, that's because they failed being traditional. Get it through your head. Mario's living on Nintendo. Spider-Man lives on PlayStation. Go buy their consoles to play their IP. Or you're going to say, oh, well, Spider-Man, Sony doesn't own Spider-Man. They didn't make Spider-Man. You want to know what? They were smart as hell to get Spider-Man, and they had to go through their growing pains. The Amazing Spider-Man movies. And it just happens to be is that they hit it when it's hot. Marvel had the Avengers movie. Boom. Spider-Man got thrown into there. Then they did Amazing Spider-Man movies, the recent ones, Homecoming, and tacked right on to with Iron Man and all that stuff. Then they made the Miles Morales movie, Into the Spider-Verse. They're hitting on all cylinders right now, and they're doing better with that IP than I've ever seen with Spider-Man. But they went through growing pains. But you can't take that away from them, that they are now utilizing that momentum and now bringing it to the gaming world with that amazing Spider-Man game that we played and riding that out. Just like we rode out on Halo. We wrote out on Halo 2, the books, Fall of Reach. Let's read it. Oh, right into Halo 3. Was anybody yelling at Microsoft going, put Master Chief on PlayStation? The anti-consumer, Xbox. Anti-consumer, they bought Halo from goddamn Apple to put it just on the console. It's business. It's not anti-consumer. Anti-consumer is paying for shit and not getting what you expect. Or capping for some bullshit that is not true. Like, that's bullshit. You're doing a disservice to the consumer when you lie to them. It's such a great value. Well, you're not playing anything on it. I don't see the world lighting up a Bleeding Edge. I don't see the world lighting up even with Grounded. I go to my friends list goddamn right now. I want to see how many people are playing Grounded. Fuck this. Yeah, I want to see the value. The value. Hit that like button. I want to see where the value is. But the value of Game Pass. I want to see how many people are playing these games that just came out. Because I go to the PlayStation friends list, it's Ghost, Last of Us, it's all over my friends list. Ghost of Tsushima lit up my whole goddamn friends list on PlayStation. Just like the old days in Xbox. Now I go to Xbox, they got YouTube, Hulu. Let me see. I want to see how many people are playing all those Phil Ness games. Oh, and here we go. Look at this, Grinders. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, but those dollar deals are over. Look what happens when you open up the Xbox app. The first fucking page. Play Minecraft Dungeons for $1. Goddamn Phil Spencer's, the goddamn Corral Buffet, a fucking Golden Corral of gaming right now. This is what Xbox has turned into, the fucking Golden Corral. Like, oh, those dollar deals are over. Are they? I want to see. The world's playing this. Let's see. YouTube, home, Dragon, Call of Duty, home, Hulu, YouTube, Halo 5, Roblox, online, home, YouTube, Gears 5, Netflix. Phil Spencer's online. Yay, Phil. Hockey. I don't see anybody playing Grounded. Mortal Kombat 11. Escape from Tarkov. That's on PC. The hell? Oh, here are the consoles. Like, these are, so you gotta watch. See, Phil Ness comes to you because he does the consoles. But, like, I don't see Grounded. I don't see any Game Pass games, actually. Spotify. Okay. YouTube. Who? Online. Like, I know it's late, but Jesus. Like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, I'm just saying, like, you talk about dollar bill gaming and the Game Pass and all this other stuff, but you go on there and it's like nobody's doing that thing. And then you go, oh, let me see. I don't know if I could get into this thing. Yeah, wait, I'm going to sign in. But, like, you know, like these games, the value, everybody, that's the thing. I hear everybody talk so much about these games, but you see nobody's playing them. Oh, but they'll go to Steam and go run around. Oh, Steam, it's number one. Are you playing it on Steam? Is that what Microsoft wants you to play? They want you to subscribe to it. But it is what it is. Like, it's like, you know what? If there are legit games in there, then let's play them. But anti-consumer, because Spider-Man is exclusive to the Avengers. You want to know what? That's a smart move. And you want to know Xbox? If they put Craig in the goddamn Avengers, there's a smart move right there. Go put Craig. Craig's meme of the century. Let's see. Can I do this thing? I know it's late. I got PlayStation right here. 15 people. Call of Duty. Ghost of Tsushima. Fortnite. Hollow Knight. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Destiny 2. Call of Duty. Netflix. Ghost of Tsushima. I know it's late, so, you know, just to give you an idea, like, I'd see Homes and Netflix. Like, the thing is that anti-consumer needs to be taken away. And I don't know if that was Phil or whatever happened, but when somebody makes gaming, wants games for an exclusive console, and makes it exclusive, that's not anti-consumer. I've shared it so much on here with the Xbox 2013 review. Shout out to the over 42 grinders. Hit that like button, guys. Share this thing out. We are at quadruple A status. Oh my God. Again. We've been hitting that quadruple A status. Thanks, Initiative. But when it is a good business move to put your IP, your content in a game as DLC, and think about it. They're going to have Miles Morales coming out for the holiday. Then after that, you're going to get him in the Avengers game. This swayed a lot of people. And also, they had the marketing deal for this, but this is what you do. What are they doing? What is Xbox doing with Assassin's Creed? They just slapped their bitch-ass logo on it. That's it. You got Craig. PlayStation got Spider-Man. What are you going to do? Like, I just don't understand how using exclusive IP and exclusive content is anti-consumer. Just because Phil hoard out all your IP does not mean that that's the right thing to do. That is a last ditch effort. That is divest. Divest everything. Sell off your assets. Do whatever you can to try to recuperate the losses that we had. That's what that was. Because Xbox was not doing that at the beginning of this generation. They were far from it. They had Titanfall exclusive, Rise, Dead Rising. You couldn't use any of your peripherals. You had to buy a camera to watch your ass naked if you come out of the shower so Phil Spencer could see you and hear you talk. No heads, iterations to the control to add headphone jacks into it. They changed. They bought Tomb Raider for a year exclusive. Gears Ultimate remade. They basically made, and then Halo 5. Then Quantum Break. Just because that didn't work, and now they had to put that shit on Steam. They had to put their stuff on the Switch. They had to put their stuff on PC. They had to put their stuff behind a Game Pass paywall. Just so you play the game to recoup engagement. That's why when people tell me that's the future, that's Xbox's future. But don't use that to speak about gaming in general, because Phil likes to do that. He likes to talk about his way is the future way. It's not. That's Xbox's way because it did not do what it was supposed to do. So they had to pivot. Just like they do every single time. They did it with Mixer. They started with original content. They got rid of those content creators last year at E3. Then at the end of the thing, they go, let's pivot. Let's just buy the big people. Then what happened? That didn't grow anything. This wasn't a waste of time. Shut it down. That's what they did. They did the same thing with Kinect. They had Kinect come out. They were trying to make it for kids' games and family stuff, and then they realized they had to make it more mature, so they made it more for the dashboard, for TV, for entertainment, for exercise. That's how they rebranded Kinect for the Xbox One, thinking that they'll use it more as an entertainment device. Well, people didn't like that. It took too much resourcing for us. So guess what? We can't just take it out of the box. Pause. Takes it out of the box. Okay. Drops the price. It's programmed into the DNA of the Xbox. Pivot. So they had to pivot and try to make their games as a service. And now what's crazy is not only are you paying Game Pass subscriptions, but now the games in the service are a service. Okay? See, my thing is like, I'll pay for Game Pass if you're giving me complete games. I would pay for Game Pass if you give me games like half of what the goddamn Last of Us was, or half of what Ghost of Tsushima is. You're not even getting to that point. You're giving me not even a piece of what the hell those games are. Not even at that level. And what you're giving me on top of that is games that still need to work on them. And then on top of that, they got microtransactions. Gears 5 was a game in a service. You had to pay monthly or a box of Pop-Tarts to play Gears 5. But in there, you had to pay $5 to $10 for skins, for abilities. So they had microtransactions within a game you're already subscribing to. And Halo Infinite is going to be the same way. All these games. Their DLC, their stuff, there's services within services. He wants to get you to double dip. Think about if you pay for Netflix and then inside Netflix there's pay to watch movies. You're paying to pay. That's what happened with Nvidia Shield. You would pay the subscription for the cloud. But that will give you access to those games in the cloud, but you still had to buy the game. That's why I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I'm not going to buy a game just to and then have to pay $5.99 a month in order to access that game. So you're paying a monthly subscription to access the game, but then you also have to pay for the game, or the game has more cost in it. You're double dipping. And then when that game leaves the service, now you're left with the question, do you have to buy the game? So now you're going to buy the game while you're still paying for Game Pass, because now the game is not in Game Pass anymore. So now you got to drop, get 10% off. Okay, what was that, $5? Now you pay $40 for a game. So now you're paying $40 for a game, and you got this $15 a month subscription just giving you access to games. You have no choice of what games go in there. Okay? So that's why, as a gamer, I want to see what I'm buying. I'm going to get into that, Mog. I'm going to see what I'm buying. I see a game, I make a consumer decision. I look at reviews. I look at the game. I look at it, and I make a decision to purchase that game. And I know what I'm buying. When you pay $15 a month, you have no clue what's coming in next week. You have no clue what's coming next month. They're trying to do that with those inside Xboxes and all that other shit. They're trying to give you some insight to what's coming. But you don't know when. Look at all those games. You think somebody, after that Xbox show, somebody's going to come in there and say, I'm going to subscribe to that service because you showed me Fable? Who the hell is going to subscribe right now? I have no date on Fable. Why would I subscribe now to see for Fable? You have no clue when that's coming out. What are you going to do? Pay Game Pass for 2 years and go, hopefully Fable drops in one of those times. That you're just throwing money away for access to service that you don't know what games are coming. You subscribe after Halo Infinite. Okay, Halo Infinite comes out in November. Why are you still paying in January and February? Do you know what's coming in January and February? No. So you want that to be the future of gaming? Where you basically just say, thank you, sir, may I have another? Well, you're just giving $15 a month away for not even know what's coming. That's how you want gaming to be. Now people go, but Netflix does that. You don't know what you get. But Netflix is not going to the movies. They don't have movies that there's still a movie theater. There's still that. Netflix is supplemental. And they have their own original content that comes out. And they do the same thing. But the thing is like, there's still an experience there to get a movie. As a console platform holder, you should offer those same experiences like going to a movie theater, hence bangers, and also put games in a service. But you just can't say, guys, if Microsoft ran the movie industry, they would be like, shut down the movie theaters. We're all going to be on Netflix. Where Sony is like, no, we got people that still want to pay top dollar for movie theaters. 4 million Ghost of Tsushima sales. We also have people that don't want to pay $60. We will drop the price and give it to them for $50 and $40. Have it on sale. Then after that, we will do a deeper sale. Maybe we'll make it one of those PlayStation hits. And now it has a new low price of $29.99. That's another level. Okay. Now a few months out, you know what? Let's put it in our subscription service, our Netflix. Let's put it in there for 90 days. Let's put it in there for 6 months. Let's put it in there for a year. People will subscribe to play the game in there. I haven't had a chance to play it. Let me go subscribe for $60 a year to play that game. Nonetheless, the PlayStation now $60 a year. You can even get yourself for $40 a year. That's ridiculous. For 800 games, yeah, you could stream 300 of them, but you also could download about 250 of them. And they've been putting some big games in there. Control's in there. Oops, Phil. Hello, Phil. Control at those going to Game Pass. Maybe he was thinking about 2 years in the future. Yo, the Floyd, what's up? Yeah, buying games is anti-consumer, right? Yeah, Game Pass leads to more game sales, right, Game Night? Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah, it leads to more game sales and games that people weren't going to buy anyway. That's the problem. And that's all I hear. That's all I hear. Spider-Man is bad. But Microsoft shows a game, and people are like, oh, I wasn't interested in buying it, but I'll play it in Game Pass. Oh, the game looks alright.
Put that cookie down now!
Why is everything that they show, in Game Pass? That's all it is. There's nothing going, I can't wait to buy that thing. Yo, what's up, Andrew Wilkins? I need to pay. I want to buy that. No, everything's like, I'll check it out in Game Pass. I'll check it out. It's in Game Pass. Check it out. Such a goddamn lame-ass excuse. Like I said before, I'm not interested. Yo, Jemiah, what's up? Like I said before, I wasn't interested in the game, but I'll play. No, you stop right there. That first sentence, what was that? I wasn't interested in the game. What was that again? I wasn't interested in the game, but it's in game. No, stop right there. You weren't interested in the game. That's the problem. That's the problem. Everything starts with, I'm not interested. I wasn't going to buy it. Oh, I'll check it out. That's what Game Pass has done. Cyberpunk flew as a no Game Pass. Hell no. Why? Because they know if they said Cyberpunk was going in Game Pass, I thought Game Pass brings in more people. They bring in more people to check out your game, but they're not $60 customers. They know people will pay $60 for Cyberpunk. They're not going to damage that by saying it's going into a $15 or a pack of chewing gum, you could play Cyberpunk. Or like when you open up that Xbox app and it says play Minecraft for $1. You think the people that work 7 goddamn years on a game want to see an advertisement on the Microsoft dashboard saying they could play your game that you worked your ass off overtime? Hashtag crunch. Play my game for $1? You think that's what third party wants to see? You think that's what a developer wants to see? The game they worked on 7 years want to say play it for $1? Unless you got Microsoft money paying your back end. Nobody wants to see that. Andrew Wilkins, that's incorrect. Yes, the adapter for the camera or for the PSVR is free. And they're going to roll out more information on how to get that adapter. And I think it's probably going to be a direct connect, like right into it. You're not going to need that box and all that other shit. Who knows? We'll see what it is. But the adapter's free as for that thing. There's no buying adapters like I mentioned before where I had to go buy Rock Band adapters to make my old guitars work on Rock Band for Xbox because they decided to use different type of wireless communications with their controllers. But the thing is that we talk about anti-consumer. I'm not saying Game Pass is anti-consumer. The fact of putting a game in there that's not complete and we'll patch it later, that's not a service. That is a travesty. That is something that you're getting Phil Nest. You're paying for something, but you're not getting it for face value. If you want to start talking anti-consumer. But you want to know what? Not even that is anti-consumer. It's these people throwing this around. Sony has exclusive content. And if they want to use that content to leverage their platform, so be it. They own the Spider-Man thing. You want to go look at laws and all this other bullshit to figure out who owns Spider-Man? You want to know what? Sony did whatever they did back then, and they own Spider-Man. That's right. I was playing Rock Band with the Phil Ness. Yo, shout out to the 50 people. Over 50 people watching. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get those likes up. We're at 30 likes. Let's keep going. Because we're going to get into Last of Us. Oh, baby. Talking about bangers. We're doing double bangers tonight. Double friggin' bangers. Because I didn't want to turn this on thing. Because I want to do a whole thing with Game Pass in the future. Because that, I need to save my voice for. Because those people need to sit the fuck down. Game Pass is the future. Game Pass is Xbox future. Xbox is an app. They dropped the little logo. It's called Game Pass. Dude, I told you, give it 2 to 3 years after the Series X launches. Maybe they do another Xbox. That shit's going everywhere. Xbox is a Netflix. Netflix is platform agnostic. Once they get rid of all these people, and I've been seeing these polls, and I know they're not real polls and stuff, but man, it used to be 2-1 for PlayStation. Ever since that Xbox thing, it has been below that. It has been like 80 to like friggin' 20. It used to be like 50-25. It is getting lopsided now. And I knew this because every move that Phil made, every move that Xbox made hurt the purchase of a console. They kept speaking about it as an option. Fine. It's optional. Guess what? When it's not required, nobody's going to buy it, especially spending the premium prices. And that's what it's going to be. So I expect the adoption of the PlayStation 5 is going to be even more astronomical than what the PlayStation 4 was, if it's available. We have this whole COVID thing going on. I don't know. But if this is just, people are going to buy the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox is going to be an option that people who just want Xbox and have all those games are going to play it. But I think a lot more people are going to experience either PC or they're going to go to PlayStation 5. They're going to. Because there's no reason to stick around on the Xbox console when you could have your cake and eat it too. You could play all those games that Sony's showing by owning a Sony console, and then you could dab in on the games that you might be interested in on Xbox with just a regular laptop. Their games are not demanding 12 teraflops. They're scalable. Go buy a $700 gaming laptop. I bought like an Acer Nitro 5 for $400. Gloriousness. You pay 1080p, 720p, you're done. And the thing is that the games that they're dropping are really not anything that needs to come out every month. Scalable trash, Impatient says. You know? So you get your cake and eat it too. You could play all these PlayStation games. There's more value for a gamer. Now remember, I'm talking about gamers. Like the grinders here. People that want to play great games. I go where the games are. Oh, you weren't going to buy an Xbox? Well, you know what? They're not doing a good job. And I was listening to this on B-Raps. I think it wasn't. I think it was Ashton Lucas. One of their podcasts where it was basically, I was thinking it was Ashton Lucas' podcast. And basically the Scumcast. And like, it's like, nobody buying an Xbox. Well, everybody's a consumer. I vote with my wallet. Right? I'm voting with my wallet. If I see something, if Xbox had a showcase and I saw something, I'm like, oh my God, I want to play that. And they go, guess what? Only on Xbox. Oh shit, okay, so I really want to play that. I have to buy the hardware to play it. It looks amazing. Okay. Let me see if it gets works. Because you want to know what? Nobody knows my situation. I want to have a console over there. I don't like all this PC gaming I got to play in my office. I want to sit back and play it too. And I'm not like, hooking up HDMI cables every time I want to play a game. To hook up my PC to my projector or to my TVs and pull it out, no. And then, I got to walk up there, touch the keyboard to launch Steam. Okay, let me get back. It could do it, but it's like, I got 2 hours to game. Okay, let me spend a half hour trying to hook up my computer to the goddamn TV so I can play some games. No. If I could buy a console and it runs great and, it's not a bad experience, there's more functionality too with the Xbox, why not? And have it right next to the PlayStation. Boom. Hooked up to the projector, input. Boom, boom, boom. But they have done so much to make that experience just like, if you want, just like everything else. I gotta get that sound clip. Meh. Dude, it's like all it is. So so when you see Spider-Man and the Avengers, they're using their IP as leverage to make them the place to play. And you want to know what? As an owner of a PlayStation, you feel like, oh shit, that's awesome. I'm gonna get that version. That version has more content. That version has a goddamn character that should be in the game. I could see the bitterness going like, oh man, I really like Spider-Man, but I'm playing on Xbox, so I don't get to play as Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, sorry, man. Like, it is what it is. This Spider-Man IP, they got it, and don't blame Sony, blame Marvel. That's what Marvel's deal is, and Sony has demonstrated that they appreciate that IP. Hell, they got Iron Man VR. Why? And then even Nintendo got Marvel. Why is Marvel not looking at Xbox? Phil? Know why? Because they want to save their money for goddamn TikTok. Get the fuck out of here. Because they're beating to a different drum. Yo, what's up, Sick? They're beating to a different drum. Microsoft has all this money in the world. They could probably go out there and buy Wolverine right now. I want a Wolverine game right now. I want Platinum Games to make it. They can make it happen. And that's the thing that people just don't understand. Oh, Sony's buying up all this stuff. You want to know why? Because Sony's doing it to leverage their platform. Your boyfriend, Phil Spencer, doesn't want to play that game. Instead, he wants to get on his little Windows Surface. He wants to use his mouse, go to Steam, go to the sale page, and then scroll all the way over to page 11 of the Summer Steam sales on Steam, and go scroll down page 11 and go, what is this? Hold on, what's this game? Let me see. Scorn? Oh, well, this looks like something that maybe we could put in Game Pass. And then Phil goes, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to page 13 of Steam sales. Let me look. Oh, look at this. Bright. Oh, shit. Made by one person? Okay. Well, only $15. Oh, that looks something for Game Pass. That's what Phil's doing. Meanwhile, Gordon Ramsay, Jim Ryan, is running around going like, yo, Predator, the fuck over here. Iron Man, get over here. Square Enix, Project Athena, get the fuck over here. Who's this? Bethesda, you're in bed with Microsoft. Come in my bed. I got silk sheets. Get over here. I want new games for you, Bethesda. I want 2 of them. Let's go. And then Jim Ryan comes on after he pimps out himself at Sony and then goes like this.
Enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
And then Phil has to go on goddamn interviews because he's shopping on page 11 of Steam. And Phil has to do this.
Means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last few years with our first-party output.
That's always been a hit on the.
Hey, thank you, Siegfried. Yeah, he has to go damage control the quality. Well, you know what the hell you're putting in there. So where's that guy on Xbox? Spider-Man. Hey, whoa. They don't have a meeting? Phil doesn't sit down with Satya after about 15 minutes of telling Satya that it's an Xbox, not a Nintendo, because Satya don't have any fucking clue what the hell the gaming division is in Microsoft. He's just like, cloud. Like, okay, Satya, we got you. He's like, Nintendo, Phil, how's the Nintendo doing? Satya, I've told you this 1,000 times already. I'm Phil Ness, but it's not a Nintendo. It's an Xbox. All right, Phil, tell me what's Nintendo looking like do? Satya, it's a fucking Xbox, please. Whatever, Phil. Go back to Nintendo Group. Go back to Nintendo. We have Nintendo Power Magazine. No, Satya, whatever. Just like your mom. Just like your mom could be like, oh yeah, that Nintendo, turn it off, Mom, it's a Sega. Fuck you. You don't say that. Your mom beat your ass. But Satya has no goddamn clue what's going on. So after Phil sits down with Satya and explains that it's an Xbox and Game Pass, because that's all they talk about, isn't there somebody there that goes, Phil, Sony has Spider-Man. They are making freaking bank on that shit. Call Marvel. Maybe we could do something with their IP. We have Ninja Theory. Maybe they could do something with Wolverine. You know, or maybe we partner with somebody else. And Phil's like, well, how much is that going to cost us? It's a lot, Phil. It's a lot. We're not going to recoup that amount of money by putting this for a pack of chewing gum in a subscription. What happens if we give them, like, the Fantastic Four? Really? Oh, that sounds good. But wait, so know what we can do? Phil says. We could give them a character each month. We could start off with Mr. Fantastic in July. Then in August, we could have The Thing. Human Torch could come in. Oh, maybe we'll have Human Torch come in August because it's hot. And so, Phil, you can't give them the Fantastic Four every month. You can't give each person every month. What kind of game is that? And well, how you can call the Fantastic Four if you're going to give out a new character each month? We got to put it in a subscription. We got to drip feed them every goddamn game. Or we release that shit broken and we fix it over the next year and a half. See, the model doesn't fit what we want. What I told you, that's what Xbox fans want. They want Phil to go over there just like he uses the bathroom over at Sega, and every year, you know, he takes a flight to Japan, he goes takes a dump at Sega headquarters, and then everybody thinks he's buying Sega. He just got to take a shit. That's all he's doing. He's like, I'm in Japan, I got to take a dump, I'm going to go over to Sega headquarters, take a shit. Nice visiting you guys. Everybody's like, he's buying Sega. No, he just used their bathroom. That's all he did, just use their bathroom. Fuck out of here. You're not buying Sega. You took a dump. But that's what people want. They want Phil to go and go buy Sega. Yo, and you know what? I took a shit in your bathroom, and I left you a blank check next to the fucking next to the sink. You tell me how much. That's what Xbox fans want. That's what we want. We want the Phil Ness to buy exclusives. Just like, I'll tell you guys this, grinders, a little secret. Go on Twitter and do a little ass tweet. Fuck Rogers. Do a little ass tweet going, Hellblade 2 should come to the PlayStation 5. Go do that little tweet. I'll wait. Watch how many people go, oh, Hellblade 2 is exclusive. What are you talking about? Only with the power of X. It's an exclusive. Hellblade 2. Should it be? They own the studio. They own the Hellblade. You know? Timed exclusives. Oh, yeah, Rainfall, I'm not in the voice chat. I could do, let me see if I would do Discord. Usually I go in Discord. Phil snipes me in there. But, sure. Yeah, exactly. Mod, like 22 exclusives and 11 world premieres. Exactly. They use exclusive also. Just that Microsoft's version of exclusive is different. Their stuff is exclusive to Game Pass or launching in Game Pass. That's what they do with their exclusivity. Or like Phil says, like Phil does, he goes to Steam, he finds a little old developer that needs help. Phil lends out his little helping hand and says, hey, I'll put you on Game Pass. We'll give you the exposure that you need. You just have to give your soul to Phil Spencer. And he's like, okay, fine. And then once we run out of Game Pass, then you could go put your game somewhere else. Okay. And he's like, the Phil Ness is going to run through you. And that's how they're doing the exclusivity. Sony is dropping the bags. I want this over here. I want this over here. That curation. That's not anti-consumer. It's business. It's all business, man. And that's the thing. Like, Sony's flexing with Spider-Man. It's smart. Know what else? I'm going to tell you what it wouldn't. You know what other flexing that should have been done? And hopefully I don't freak out again, because I'm going to do another goddamn show about this shit. Hit the like button, guys. We're going to go on Last of Us next. But you want to know what? As Sony's flexing Spider-Man, it's for a Spider-Man exclusive game, PlayStation 5 exclusive. We're going to use the IP and put them in our game, on the Avengers game. You know, make people want to buy our Avengers game. And I know people don't like that. Oh, Sony's putting they're putting exclusive DLC in a game. You know what? Sony's flexing. You want to know what? Instead of complaining about anti-consumerism, while Sony's out there flexing, like goddamn Arnold.
Who is your daddy?
And he's doing all that other stuff. You know what should have happened on July 23rd? You know who should have been flexing? You know what IP should have been dominating? Do you know what Microsoft should have done on the 23rd? Instead of looking at Phil Spencer's head on a bodybuilder's body, you want to know what they should have done. Instead of having Greenberg dressed in an Ori costume, you don't want to know what they should have done. Instead of having Major Nelson go to podcast to scream Game Pass, you know what they should have done. Instead of having shown a bullshit open world game with no textures, you know what they should have done. They should have flexed the fuck out of Halo. That's where the flexing should have been. That game should have lit the world on fire. It was a next-gen game set up to succeed of the next Halo, a refresh, let's go, new console, new Halo. It should have been flexed. Instead, it was a dud. That it had to be damage controlled. It was an old build. It was only a couple of weeks old. Actually, we find out. Then Bungie has to, not Bungie, God, I wish it was Bungie. Then 343 has to come out and go, oh, well, you know, we showed you that trailer 2 years ago and nobody complained when it was a fake CGI trailer. That's what should have been flexed. This should have been Master Chief versus Spider-Man. Because Master Chief is the best IP that Microsoft has. That's the only one that even holds a light, because it has the legacy and it still is there. The hype for Halo. Look at all the tweets that were hyped up leading up to Halo. And then look what happened. So instead of saying, well, why you doing the Spider-Man? Major Nelson running around like a goddamn whore.
I'd buy that for $1.
And everybody looking at that Halo coverage going like this.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then Phil Spencer running his mouth for the last goddamn
We're
2
really
years.
focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
And then Pee Wee Herman trailing him up.
Trying to use the phone!
Yeah. They should have flexed Halo. That should have been the show of shows. That's where your energy and your focus should be. Not damage controlling it. Going like, oh, it looks fun for me. You want to know what? You like that shit? You eat that shit up. But don't come to me and let me smell your breath. Because that's not Halo. That shit's done. That shit needs to be delayed. That shit needs to be fixed. There's some inherent problems with that stuff. That is not a game that just didn't have any polish. That game didn't have any fucking soul. It was a soulless Halo. It had no fucking life to it. It's as soulless as the goddamn Craig meme. Look at that meme. Look at the reaction on Craig's face. Use Craig as the perfect mascot of Xbox. Meh. Meh. Good morning, Eddie T. Craig is the perfect meme because he's representative of what the hell Xbox has been showing for the last 3 fucking years. A goddamn emotionless, stupid-looking meh face. Meh. Guy's getting rocked by Master Chief's elbow, and all he could do is meh. That's what the hell should have been flexed. Microsoft should have known. They know. They knew Spider-Man was coming. They know that Sony has the IPs. Phil Spencer came out with his Phil Ness shirt, buttoned down, 3 buttons, fucking chest hair coming out. He had his gold chains on. He had the interview on, and Phil Ness comes down and he goes, I feel good about my show after watching Sony's show. Fucking oozing Phil Ness. Goddamn coming down like goddamn Razor fucking Ramon. After Sony's show, Phil Spencer comes down, fucking chest hair, he's all greased up. I love what I saw. He's like, oh, I feel so good about our show after I saw Sony's show. Oh shit, Phil got some shit in the bag. Phil flexing. That's right. Yo, what's up, J-Cat? How you doing? He's full flex. Fucking all greased up and shit. Comes out, he got his chest hairs, fucking gold chains. They're like, Phil, what do you think about I feel good about our show. Fucking goddamn toothpick in his mouth. Wearing those old ass 80s bathing suit bottoms. Fuck out of here with that shit. There's Phil. There he comes out like that. Oh shit, Phil's flexing, man. He got shit to show. And then they're flexing. Halo. Hey, ship it. Would you ship that? And then he does a week of bullshit interviews. Oh, the next gen exclusives are anti-consumer. That doesn't move gaming forward. Oh, holding games back from old tech is just a meme created for the console war. Phil, you know what? Button up your shirt. Put the chest hair away, please. I had enough Phil Ness for the day. Would you ship that? Halo should have been flexed. Halo should have shown why Xbox, why Series X, why you bleed green. Halo should have shown that. And it didn't. It failed. It became a meme. A joke. A joke so bad that executives and even 343 themselves had to just laugh at themselves about it. You imagine working on a game and then having to address in your blog, how's Craig doing? You're a goddamn meme. You imagine working 5 years, 6 years on a game, all those people that showed at the last show, and then what they've done is created your joke? You're like, you come to the table and you're like this?
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Yeah. That's what I like to say. Goodfellas, great movie. But am I a clown? Is Master Chief a clown?
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I
It's a
make you
funny
laugh.
game?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Yeah. Halo is a joke. Just like when Aaron Greenberg did his next gen reveal, and he thought that it was cute. He was a clown. People laugh at him because he decided to put the Xbox Series X as a goddamn refrigerator behind him with his goddamn 480p webcam. He must have been using one of those fucking iToys, or he used the goddamn Xbox Live camera that they had with the 360, where everybody used to play Uno with. That's what Aaron Greenberg was out laying around. But you're a clown. You're mocking your own system. Your system's not even that big. It's actually smaller possibly than the competition, but you didn't know at that time. But let's use a meme as my background. Let's laugh together. And now they're doing the same thing with Craig. Feels like Craig's great. He's doing great. He's our mascot. We like Craig. Really? You're a clown? Are you here to make people laugh? Is that what the brand is? A joke? Oh, but let somebody shit on xCloud and you'll be like, let me get on my soapbox here. But Craig is a joke. He's funny. He makes you laugh how? Like a clown. It is their deflection tactic. Exactly. Make America great again. It is. Because they can't say, oh, we don't like it. We don't approve of it. You know, we will work harder and work better. No, they did acknowledge it somewhat. But that wasn't the reaction that Halo should have had. Halo should have been the flex. Halo should have been the response. And not only did it not even hit that, and just like, oh, a bunch of fanboys like, oh, I don't like it. Ponies, as they call them. Just trashing on Halo. It was true Halo fans. It was Xbox fans going, this does not look good. You know? Like, that's the thing. This doesn't look good. That's a problem. And now when Sony uses their IP, they show stuff. They actually flex and use Spider-Man to their advantage. That's anti-consumer. But for me, what Xbox shown at their Xbox Game Showcase with Halo was anti-consumer. That was devastating. That was what the hell? Who approved this? And then you have the nerve to be like, so many people worked on it and worked on the polishing and like, excuse me? How bad is the game then? And in fact, it's not even working on a Series X. We haven't seen anything running on the Series X. PlayStation event, they were quiet for 2 goddamn years. They said, enough of me, let's do the games, and they captured PlayStation 5 footage right there. They probably hit that goddamn share button or create button and said, boom, here's our show, bitch. Meanwhile, they got Phil Spencer and friends trying to make a Surface Pro, tie 4 of those fuckers together and go, I think that's as powerful as the Series X. Run the game on it. We got about 10 Surface Pros. Tied them up together. There's Halo running on it. Ship it. Ship it. Phil, we're going to make the date? You bet your ass we're going to make the date. I don't care if there's a goddamn half a Master Chief out there. That shit's launching on November 15th. But Phil, we're not finished the game. That's why it's in Game Pass, bitch. Oh, shit. Thank you for the likes, everybody. Yeah. That's why we got Game Pass. It's our safety net. You know, when those trapeze artists are flipping all over the place and woo, woo, woo. Oh, no, they're going to fall and die. We got the safety net right here. No games are going to die. This Game Pass will save them. But Phil, it's a shit game. It's in Game Pass. But Phil, we got to spend more time. It's in Game Pass. Oh, shit, okay. Feels like a goddamn hippie now. He's like, it's in Game Pass, man. He's in Game Pass. He's like, pass the joint. It's in Game Pass. Feels like all like high and shit running around. Like, oh, chill. But Phil, this poppin'. Look at That's all right. Just show the game. I went on Forbes. I told them that I care about goddamn quality. I don't give a shit about. We got Game Pass. They got 10 million suckers out there that think they upgraded and they're getting content. We got all those suckers out there. They're 10 million. I'm gonna get more. Don't worry about it. We got those suckers. We'll fix it later. It's okay. I'll do another interview. Phil, what are you going to do? Don't worry. I'll come out and say something. Phil, Halo Infinite doesn't look good. Don't worry. I'll fix something. Let me come out there. I'll say something. All right. You know what? You know what? Cuphead. Go on PlayStation. Do something. Okay, Cuphead, go over PlayStation. I don't give a shit about you anymore. Go. I put you on a goddamn Tesla. I'll put you on a PlayStation. Go. There we go. I got it. Thanks, Phil. Woo. You took the power off of Craig. Now everybody's talking about Cuphead. Thanks, Phil. Woo. Thank you. What do we do now? You know what? Let's send out a blog. Tell them about the 12 teraflops again. Tell them about smart... No, what? No. Tell them about velocity architecture. No, you want to know what? They don't like the tramp stamp, Phil. And Phil's like, what? How do they not know the seal of quality? Or as J-Cat says, the badge of honor. But Phil, they don't like optimized on Series X being slapped on the front of the box. Phil's like, wait a second. Who the hell puts tramp stamps on the front? Tramp stamps go on the back. Oh, that's what we do. Okay, thanks, Phil. Yeah. Come on now. We don't put tramp stamps on the front. That messes up the image. Tramp stamps go on the back. Oh. Because that shows quality? Fuck no. That's where tramp stamps go, on the back. Put it on the back, in the lower back, in the corner. And what does it say, Phil? No regrets. Oh, shit. That's why. That's how that goes. Put that tramp stamp on the back. So they fixed the tramp stamp. I coined it called a tramp stamp and goes on the back. There we go. We got it. We got it taken care of. Hey, thank you, Buck Roger. So now, I think we're done talking about Phil Ness. But anyway, that Halo shit got me triggered. And I'm not done with fucking Halo. All right? And that multiplayer being free... Oh, goddamn. I need to see what the hell that looks like. Because somebody tells me something's for free, I go, there's a reason why it's free. There's a reason. Okay? So, hopefully, that Halo multiplayer doesn't ship and come out with a friggin' a dick in a box. Or some other bullshit where you open it up and it kicks you in the nuts. I don't know. But when it's free... we will see. It's not even free. Who even knows what it's going to be? Xbox Live Gold, Game Pass. God damn it. It sounds like a goddamn fucking cruise ship with all these goddamn extras right now. With all this bullshit. You need a goddamn license to buy all these goddamn services and shit. Just want to play some good games. Just give me goddamn good games. Is it so hard to show pictures of Ghost of Tsushima? Is it so hard to release a Last of... like, is it so hard just to play great games? By request.
Put that cookie down now!
It is hard. I'm sure, Ravenflow. I think it is hard. It takes a dedicated group and a unique vision to know what a great game is, and to know what your consumer wants, and to know what will sell. But when you're not in the business of trying to sell, you're trying to sell an idea. And that's what Phil's been in the market for the last 2 years. He's selling the idea of you not owning your games, of Phil telling you what games you're going to get, and you're just going to buy a subscription, and I tell you what games you get and when those games leave, and I tell you what kind of games you're going to get. I tell you what this... oh, and you could buy them. That's the Fallout plan right there. You could buy them if you want. But the thing is your experience, your main experience. That's why when people say it's the future, you're telling me the main experience is you just want somebody to tell you what you're going to feed, what you're going to play, what you're going to do. without like having a real product that is marketed to you that you could see if you make a decision if you want to buy it. Oh, you could buy it or not. Why would you buy it if you're getting it in a subscription? All your choice goes away. Because if you're subscribed, you're getting the game anyway. So you're not going to buy the game. I don't know. Oh, I'll buy it to support developers. I guess if you're in that kind of, if you feel that way. But as a consumer, why would you pay for something you're getting already in your subscription? Unless it's incredible. Which, has that been many games? I don't think so. But when people say that's the future, I look at it as a great service, as an alternative, as an accessory to my main gaming experience. That's what Game Pass should be. It should be a supplemental or even like a gateway drug, a way to get people into gaming. You know what? Hey, you don't want to pay $60 or $7 for a game? Fine. Pay the subscription, play a couple of our games, sample what you think, and then maybe you'll buy our next banger that we come out with. The problem is that bang less. There's no bangers. That's the issue. There needs to be balance. PlayStation Now's there as a gateway drug. Yeah, let's get you into gaming. Okay, cool. It's a low cost, low entry. Get them in. The end game is to get them to be buying Last of Us 2 on day one, $70. Eddie T, you're right. It's a demo service. The problem is that they made the demo service the premier service. That's why I don't agree with that future. No sequels. Like, you come out now, the game didn't even goddamn release yet, and you're telling me that Halo's not getting a sequel. Halo Infinite is the next 10 years. Holy shit. Damn. We're going to do that right now? Like, you're not even going to let this shit even come out there and see what like, you're like, nope, 10 years. I'm like, are you going to be there after 2 years? Like, the hell does that look like? Like, I just don't get it. Oh, let's see. Rainflow 70 saying Discord thing. Let me see. I don't even know how to do this goddamn Discord thing. Let me see. Add friend. Yeah, and I'm going to get into The Last of Us 2. So, I'll get Ravenflow in here. Let me see if I get him in here. I don't have... How the hell does the Discord thing work here? Oh, there we go. Ravenflow, you and oh yeah, let me invite you to here, and then maybe you could come into the to this thing, and we'll talk. So all I'm gonna do is talk about Last of Us. So I'm gonna just mention it first of this thing, just like not as a spoiler thing, and then I'll get Ravenflow in here. We'll talk about it. I don't want to do too much because it is kind of late. Holy shit, I didn't realize I talked that long. Hey, you know what? That's what I do. Grinds my gears. You know, they get me. I just go on a tirade. Yo, 50 people. Yo, go to sleep. 55 people. Holy shit! At 1 o'clock in the morning. Yo! Every time is a grinds time, right? There's no time that nothing grinds your gears, right? Hey, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you again so much, everybody. Hit that like button. 50 likes. Holy crap. This is amazing. I you know, again, it's just my opinion. This is how I feel about this stuff. It does trigger me. I get upset. I just can't believe the fall from grace that we're seeing. And the thing is that, yes, I'll experience Xbox on PC. The problem is right now is that when people say that model that they're doing is what everybody is going to do, that needs to stop. We need to first see how this goes before I think it's too early. Just like when people are like VR is going to replace everything. Like, no, it's not. It got its little niche. It's where it is. It's actually bigger, and actually Sony of all people are the ones that are really using it. And Oculus, like you know what? Nobody really they are the ones that are really demonstrating it with new games. And so's the Vive and all those other ones. The support has been great for VR, but it didn't replace traditional gaming. You know. But the thing is like, you're not... I think people went to bed, because now I got 49 people. I told them to go to bed. I reminded what time it was. But yeah, if you're catching a replay, let's do this. But, you know, the thing is like, you can't just jump in and say, this is the future. Your competition is doing great. I said this on Salty's podcast. Like, PC... They're buying up all those Xbox games. They got Horizon coming out on Friday. They're buying them all. Steam's top sells. Sony, those guys are playing. They bought Ghost of Tsushima. They bought Last of Us 2. Nintendo, they bought Paper Mario. They bought those games. Xbox, they're capping for friggin' Game Pass still. And nobody's playing Grounded. But they'll celebrate that. Like, the thing is like, everybody's buying games and doing well. Xbox is the only one that's like, Even Xbox is seeing people want to buy their games. On Steam, they don't want to subscribe. Sea of Thieves was on PC for 3 goddamn years. Why would that game sell so well on Steam? Because nobody was playing it in that goddamn Windows 10 store. They waited them out for it to be on Steam. That shows you how many people are interested in goddamn Game Pass and goddamn Windows 10 store. There were so many people that waited out that they waited for it for Steam. That's why it's in the top seller. Because think about it. Why would a 4-year-old game that's been on PC all of a sudden like shoot to the top and be there? Because nobody wanted to deal with it in a subscription or in Windows 10 store. That's Microsoft's vision. That's the future that everybody's saying is going to happen. Well, the people are not adapting to it. Everybody keeps buying games. And speaking of amazing games, Last of Us 2. Thank you, Garuda. Good night, man. Thank you, man. Come in, check out the rest of it. I'm going to talk about Last of Us 2. Again, I'm going to talk about Last of Us 2. First, I'm just going to say my general impressions. Then, I'll get Ravenflow in here, and we'll just talk a little bit of some of the things because I want to bounce it off of somebody too. But I finished the game last night. I streamed a little bit a couple days ago, and I'm not gonna spoil it now. But what a story and what emotion! The game, the facial animations, the intense. Like, it's almost so cinematic, the way the camera focuses on the faces, the animations, the intensity, that it is mesmerizing. And that all added to the emotion that game dished out. Now, some history of Last of Us. I played Last of Us 1 halfway through on the PlayStation 3. I played the rest of it on the PlayStation 4. I played the DLC, right? Which was all right. It was okay. But I thought the story was great. I thought, again, the things that they did in Last of Us, it was awesome. Okay? But we all know that game did not end on a good note. It was like a cliffhanger. And it ended with a kind of circumstances. That's what this game is about. This game, Last of Us 2, for me, is about people who made decisions and now they have to deal with the consequences. And it's not all a bed of roses. And there's good and bad in everybody. And the way it played out was incredible. And I'm really satisfied with the way the game went. I think it ended very well. I think it definitely leaves opening for a sequel. I know, Mog. But I really think that's the game did what it needed to do. They're all different. I could see a lot of things that people could get upset about. Did it warrant upset? Emotional upset? Hey, that's people's emotions. That's how they feel. But the game did what it evoked emotion, which is that's what you could do with any piece of art form. And not a meme. A real emotions about the characters. And I enjoyed the whole part of it. And I feel like, just to get into a little bit of just, I don't know how everybody will spoil stuff, but I'll start in a little bit, probably in another minute. But the thing is that what happened needed to happen. The way they told that story and who you controlled and what you did needed to happen in that way in order for you to feel a certain way. Now, people might not want it that way. And they've tried this trope in other games. And, just yelling about Halo, they tried this in Halo 2. You played as Chief, you played as Arbiter. They tried in Halo 5. You played as Chief, you played as Locke to get the different perspectives. why they were doing what they were doing. And I think, it worked a little bit in Halo 2, but it is a little taking off. Like, it is a little, taking, it's like, oh shit, now I'm controlling somebody else. I don't want to do this. Especially, it was weird. I remember the pushback on Halo 2 when you had to be like, wait, I just killed a whole bunch of these things. But it gave you this sense of, you felt a certain way. And people didn't like that you had end on with Arbiter and things like that. And Master Chief was a cutscene at the end. And there's different ways of doing it. But the way they did it in this game, going from one character to another character, it was awesome. It had the same effect. So I'm going to go right now into start talking about some spoilers and just certain things. Not too much. I'm not going to talk too much into it. Let me see if I could get Ravenflow in here. Let me see. Pending. Ravenflow, are you the stage? Is that you? Ravenflow? You stage? Jackpot. Pugsy said jackpot. Yeah, okay, good. I'll add you there. And then actually you can go right to my right to the channel, and you could go right into the Grinds Discord, which I don't have a lot of people in my Grinds Discord actually, but I could drop the link if you want to be, if you guys in the Grinds Discord. But here we go with the oh no, what? I don't even know how to share this thing. Discord's a disaster. I don't even know what the hell to do with Discord. All I know is to jump into a voice chat. But yeah, you could jump into the Grinders Roundtable. That's where you go when you get into that thing, and then we'll talk a little bit of spoilers. So I'll put I don't even know how to do the time point, but I'll put the time point in the chat, so in the description, so you know when the spoilers start, so you guys could hear the goodness of Grinds My Gears, and then you could jump off if you haven't beat Last of Us 2 yet. But let me see if Rainfall, I think you should be in there. I don't know if do I have to invite you to my thing? I add you as a friend. Yo, Discord's messed up. Here you are. And now I'm going to invite you to Grinds My Gears. There you go. I invited you to that thing. So now you can jump into the chat thing, the Rhine table. Oh, shit. Here we go. You want the link? There we go. I'll get you into the, we'll get you into, we'll do the discussion here. Let's go. Who's this pending? Oh, I did that one. Yeah, we'll get you guys in here. All right. We'll do a Grinders Roundtable. For those burning the midnight oil. Holy crap. After midnight oil. But let me get the link. Where the hell? Sorry. This is a little impromptu. Doing it live. Create invite. I don't know. It's not. I don't know if it's working or not. But anyway. Oh, put the link to the Discord in the chat. Hold on. Let me see how that works. What is the Discord? Where the hell did I find the Discord link? Shit. Server settings, invite people. No, that's inviting people. Oh, here we go. Do I hit that? Let me see if that works. So I just put I just do the hidden link to the chat, right? Is that what I do? Let me see if that looks. So this is the Discord. So does that work? If you click on that, that should invite you to. Yep, there's the link to the Discord. There you go, guys. Now you can join into the Discord. So that's the Grind My Gears Discord. I started up. Everybody saw the leak. So yeah, anyway, let me get into this thing. So I'll see where the Rainflow jumps on. But so anyway, spoilers. Time point. Right now. I'm gonna do it where I can do the thing. Okay, spoilers. If you don't want to hear it after the siren. Yo, Lincoln Clay, what's up? So after the siren, we're here. Last of Us 2. I finished the game. We're going to talk spoilers right now. After the siren, we got it. So I got my tagline. I'm going to look. What time is it? It is 106-minute mark. It is at the... like 146. Okay. So I know where to put the mark. Yo, Lincoln Clay, one thing. VR works for next generation. I'm glad they confirmed it. Thank God. I'll hopefully, let's see if there's some benefits to maybe they super sample that resolution. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm talking. I got the link to the Discord in there for the Grindhouse. You can join the Discord chat over got there. I could jump into there. But yeah, I've been growing that too. I'm trying to grow that. But yeah, hit that like button, guys, on your way out if you're going to bed. But we're gonna talk a little bit of spoilers. So there we go. Game starts off. Everybody, I think, have seen it already with the thing that happens to Joel, right? So I warned you. So Abby gives the smackdown to Joel. She wants to hit him. Hits him with the thing, right? In front of Ellie. Then there's a vengeance mission. They kill Joel, right? Ellie now is on a mission with Joel's brother. There we go. Let me hear if I hear you. I think you should be in there. Okay. He's in. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you guys.
Hello?
There you are. Hey, what's up?
Yo.
Yo, what's up, Link? How you doing?
Hey.
What's up, guys? So anyway, what did you guys... Oh, Discord link expired? Oh, shit. I don't know what happened. That's it. You missed the window. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, not to do like a ton of time. So, what did you guys think that? Oh no, spoilers, Buck Roger. Do I have to hit the thing again? Oh shit, I gotta hit my thing again. So, did you? I assume everybody liked the beginning of the game. I know upset about Joel thing, but the fact that like Ellie was gonna say, "I'm going on a revenge mission," right?
Yeah, right.
Hey, no problem, Brian V. Yo, stay safe out there, man. Stay safe. California, South Dakota. Holy shit. Oh man. Man, stay safe without driving. But
going worldwide.
Yeah. So did you think that, like, were you happy with the first part of the game where it's like, not that you're happy, but like it was really like an emotional thing because like they killed Joel and then now she's like, I'm going at him. I gotta go with Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that?
You can go first. You can go first, Link.
Yeah, good.
I stayed away from all of the leaks. So
yeah, me too.
When I actually watched that first part of the game with Joel meeting his end, I was pretty surprised, but can't say I didn't expect something to happen to him. So
yeah, because everybody thought that like he was not even going to be in the game, and then they teased him and stuff like that, and I thought maybe he'd be flashbacks or things like that. Yeah. But when you saw that he was legit in the game in the same time period, the fact that happened so early in the game, it's sort of like a big shock. But you know what? Really they kind of did this. Yeah, but you know what? They did the same thing with the daughter too. They let you play in the first game. You played as the daughter in the beginning. That was on purpose,
right?
To make you see her perspective and to say, oh, I'm going to play as this character. And then she dies. It's like, oh, dead. It's like, oh, like they did that. They didn't make you play as Joel and your NPC died. They make you play the character and control them in the house and explore her room and do all that stuff because they want you to get attached to it. They probably know that if you're just an NPC and you get your head chopped off, it's like, NPC, that sucks. But like when you control these characters, there's a difference in them, and I think that's why they let you jump between different characters because they let you start off as Joel. That's interesting, right? They let you start off as Joel in this game. They're like, oh shit, it's a Joel game, with his brother. Yeah, but what did you think about that first part, though? The Raven, what do you think?
I thought that it was brilliant, to be honest, because as you said before, Halo tried to do this, but to a lesser extent, more like Elementary. With the Arbiter and Master Chief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it didn't hit as hard as this because it was essentially a basic story, really streamlined, that essentially merged towards the end, going up against the Covenant and realizing, the lie that was, the religious zealot nature of the group. Well, in this game, it was more so you're thrown into playing as Abby, and
Mm.
you kind of get to know her. You're thinking to yourself, why am I in this person's shoes? But okay, let's see what's going on. Let's go a little bit deeper. I'm getting
Yeah.
to know this person. Who are their friends? Who is this Owen guy? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like a movie, in an actual movie. This is where like Naughty Dog is like a step above the rest because
Yeah.
they're taking narratives from actual films, like say for instance a James Bond film. You
Mm.
know, where you would actually see the villain do something first, and
Yes.
then
Yes.
you'll go to James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the once you actually go further along in the storyline, and you meet up with Joel and things like that, like later on.
Yeah.
I mean, uh, the character, the cool thing about it is that most people don't pay attention to the little subtleties in her behavior
Mm-hmm.
when she finds out it's Joel.
Yes. Yeah.
When you come back to it the second time, you're like, oh my god, I didn't realize that once she heard Joel's name, her complete like her demeanor completely changed. Despite the
Exactly.
fact that Joel saved her life.
Yeah. And know what's funny is
Like
that they
it's
actually,
a
when they start the game
completely,
off,
it's just on another level. But I don't
yeah,
want to,
and
I don't want
when they start
to,
the game
yeah.
off, you actually, she is sort of like, you don't even know what their relationship is like when you
Hmm.
first play the game. Like, you just know that Joel's off doing his thing and Ellie's there, and she seems to be like, reminiscing about the time he gave her the guitar. But really, you don't really know that she seems to be at odds with him. Like when you first meet her at the in Jackson, whatever, in the place, in the camp, she's very sort of like they're not like a father and daughter running
Hmm.
around. You don't know what their relationship is, but she seems a little pissed off about him. You don't find out until the end what it was really about, and that kind of stuff. But like you're right, the little things of how she changed, like the flashbacks, I think did the most. Were very effective.
Yeah.
And they did have some father daughter type, like things with the with the Smithsonian. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was like what everybody thought this game was going to be. The whole game of like Joel and Ellie just like, messing around
Yeah.
and hugging and holding hands
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And then he's going to drop the bomb that, hey, you're the only one. I killed everybody to get there. Like, I lied to you.
Right.
But they
Yeah.
didn't do it that way.
Yeah, I feel like the way they told this story made it even better because
Yeah.
by you starting the game as not when you start as Joel, but Ellie, you see part of her story, and then you see what Abby does to Joel, and you say, okay, I really don't like this character,
Hmm.
as far as Abby. But then when you're placed in her shoes and you get the opportunity to see her story, her backstory, and what her motivations were for why she did what she did, it makes you understand her character and it makes the story even more powerful because you really don't have a basic black and white story here. You have
No.
Exactly.
it's a
Totally
matter
correct.
of perspective, right? So what I deem as good or evil, is all about how I see it. And so
Mm-hmm.
these two characters both having a quest and a thirst for revenge, but you have Abby moving towards redemption, whereas Ellie being consumed by her revenge. So
Exactly.
Yes,
it
exactly. Yep.
it was just a great way to tell that story. You don't get this type of storytelling in video games that often.
No, and I
And
think you know what else too. I think a story like this is more effective for a video game. Like I think
yes,
a movie might not have been as emotional, like as tied attached to the characters when you are actually controlling it and doing it. Like I think it
yeah.
being a game was even more impactful and more emotional. The fact that you're doing this stuff, you're
And the amount
choking
of
out this
time you get to
person.
spend with these characters. A movie is what,
Yeah,
an hour and a
yeah,
half,
you're
2
right.
hours,
Yep, it's
3
not a
almost.
Yeah.
flashback. Yeah.
30
So
hours versus 2 hours. Yeah.
you get to spend almost 15 hours with each one of these characters. So, and I remember playing with Abby thinking, okay, I'm going to play like an hour or two with her.
Same.
And then hours went by and I was like, wait, I want to go back and play as Ellie. But then I got sucked into her story
Yep.
Hmm.
and her characters, which looked like just some henchmen in the beginning of the game that were part of the whole murdering of Joel, these characters had their own personality, their own their own motivations, and
Mhm.
it was so fleshed out. And I commend Naughty Dog for not just giving us a basic as good versus evil story,
Exactly.
and giving us
Yeah.
something impactful. And
Yeah.
I read an article today. It was Polygon. They had an article about how they wanted gaming, the stories in gaming, to get back to just basic black and white good versus evil, and get away from this gray area, like where Naughty Dog's trying to tell their story, because they say, we deal with the gray area in life. Why do we want to deal with this in gaming? We just need
No.
basic stories. We've had that. We've had
Oh, come
Mario
on.
saving the princess from
Yeah.
Bowser. I mean, come on. We
Yeah.
do need more unique stories, and I commend
You
them
need
for doing
mature
this.
stories. There's a place for all this type of things, and this actually shows,
Right.
like I was saying before, like it shows a game that where a storytelling in a game was done creatively by the fact of what you were doing and how you were controlling it. And I agree. Like I thought Abby, everybody's complaining about the Abby part, and I'm like, this is actually going. I feel a lot longer than I thought. Like, and there were some parts where. I was just like, okay, like this, like I forget what I was doing. I was like, this could have been like another game, like a third one or an expansion, like what I'm doing with Abby. But what the interesting thing was the fact that you just went as Ellie on an avenge mission and killed everybody. At the end of it, when you kill Owen, and then you realize that the medic that you killed, I forget, I'm not bad with names. She's pregnant, and then you go running back.
Mel.
Mel, that's her name is. Yeah, Mel.
Yeah.
She kill it, and then she goes, "Oh shit, she's pregnant." I think Ellie realizes like, "Oh shit, I went too far, like for this Abby thing," and that's why when she goes back to the thing and she sees her, her girlfriend who's pregnant, and and they're kind of like making making amends and things like that. She's like, you know what, I think this Abby thing, I think I'm just done with it. I just went too far, I just killed a pregnant woman. On top, I didn't realize it, but she did. And that's when Abby shows up, and it's like, oh my god! And then you think that she just like, she's like holding the gun. She's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then she's like, I know you did it just because Joel did it. And she's like, what? You killed all my friends. And then it just stops. And then it's like, now you're Abby, and you see all. And I thought it was so awesome how you're in the camp and you just hear about, yo, this guy died. This guy died, and that was you as Ellie knocking them off. And it's like you see the other aspect of like, holy shit, these people are just dropping, and you realize that all of them weren't in on it. They were just helping out Abby. Abby was the one. This was her rogue mission to do it.
Well, the thing is that they all agreed to back her up, though. That's the thing.
I know, but they weren't. They were just like, yeah, you're right. They agreed to back her up.
That's the like as you progress through the game and you find out about their little plot, and later on in the what do you call it, the memories, I guess. Essentially Owen basically told her that that it would be we just get rid of her and then just move on, essentially.
Right.
So like when they actually got to the situation where they were in there with Joel, the big elephant in the room, and she surprised Joel with the shotgun shot to the knee, and they had to tourniquet his leg. There was a situation where like Owen had to literally keep Abby in check because of her rage, and it's one of the cool things about this game that Naughty Dog, as opposed to games like Tomb Raider and stuff like that, with the writing, that the main characters need somebody. They need somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
To help them maintain some level of character. They don't just do it themselves. They're not this egotistical. Well, they all have egos, but they're not this massively egotistical creature that exists on their own and succeeds on their own.
Which is the whole driving factor of the game. That's why they have their motive, is because they're losing people that they usually lean on around them. Like, I couldn't believe how like a person, a character that was pretty significant, like, they're just like chatting with them, and all of a sudden a bullet goes right through their head, and it's like, they're done. You know,
Like
the fact that
Manny.
they killed off Jesse, like, was it Jesse?
Jesse, yeah.
Oh my God! He opened the door. I'm like, nobody's even acknowledged they killed that guy. You know, that guy was just talking about, like, they were just like, he's done. Like, and then even Manny. I think Manny was the other one with the sniper, and it wound up being Joel's brother that
It
killed
was
him.
Tommy.
Like,
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah,
like, who's this goddamn sniper? You get so angry, and then find out that it's
Tommy. Wanted to go after Tommy so bad.
What you realize too, what you get to understand too, is that there are consequences to all the things you do.
Yes.
So yeah, you go on this, you play in the first game, and you kill a lot of people. But what it showed you in this game was there were consequences to what the decision Joel made, the selfish decision that Joel made, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There were consequences to his actions, and so you have to deal with that in this game. And you know, this game, there's no big to a lot of the characters' deaths. There's not this big lead up. You know, some games the deaths are so predictable.
It's abrupt.
This
Yeah.
game,
I mean,
when
like a shot in the head.
killed off, I mean, you got to keep going. You don't stop and.
Yeah, and that's a big problem with the backlash.
Yeah, you don't press X for respects. You know, every time somebody dies.
Right. Yeah, there's a big problem with the backlash in this game that, you know, everybody hated the way that Joel died. Maybe you could have done this another way. Let's not be ridiculous now. A lot of characters in The Last of Us died abruptly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the characters who are along the ride with Ellie, of course, she's the main character, will die. And they will die quickly. They're not going to have a hero's death. This is a game for adults. It's not for kids. You know?
Yeah, look what Ellie did to the that girl. Like, she made her breathe in all those spores.
Nora,
yeah. Damn, like, she brutally.
And then she
yes.
Eat her
This game is this story.
And they make you keep hitting X. Square keeps smashing.
This is the story that Naughty Dog wanted to tell. No, a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there were some people that are upset about Joel being killed off. But
of course,
it was shocking to me. But what I'll say is that you needed a catalyst and a strong one to push the story forward. And you know, this is not my story. This isn't your story.
Exactly.
This is the story that Naughty Dog wanted to tell. Yeah, and I don't think that you can say, okay, I may not agree with the decision that they made, but it was still their decision to make. I don't think you could just totally condemn the game because they didn't make the decisions that you wanted. I mean, if they gave you a predictable story that you wanted, where Joel had this you got to play as Joel and Ellie and go on another adventure with them, and then maybe Joel dies at the end in some heroic.
That's what I think. Yes,
that
in
would
heroic
just
fashion.
be
Yeah,
so mundane.
And Ellie forgives him.
Yeah, we've always been watching those endings and stories. It's
but the first one never had a happy ending. It ended in a lie, and it was for him to just he saved her because that was kind of like a romantic type. Well, not a romantic type thing, but like one of those kind of like he had a change of heart. And that's where I think a lot of people, like he lost his daughter, then he went on an adventure, and their bitterness, and he grown to like to really care for her enough to start shooting up people.
After Ellie,
but it didn't end on a good note. Like it ended in he lied to her, and she was meant to die.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And then I know the one thing I wanted to say. The thing that really twisted everything was the interview with the doctor and the Fireflies, where they're like, "We don't want to kill her. I've done every single way to try to find a way how to extract a vaccine.
Yeah, Abby's dead. Yeah,
without killing her." And Abby listened in on that thing, so you realize it's like, and she's like, "Go tell Joel." Then she tells Joel, and he goes kills everybody. It makes you look at his motive and his action. You don't know that, and it makes him look like a crazy person, thinking that they didn't want to do that because in the first game they made you think the Fireflies were just these eccentric people. They're just gonna we gotta kill her. That's what we knew this. We just didn't tell you until you delivered her. But that was a huge revelation in that game and very effective.
Exactly, and that's the crazy part because the first game we had such a viewpoint from Joel that
like Joel killed them all. Get her out of there.
it made him to some people seem like a good guy. Now a lot of
Yes.
people, of course, it was already peppered into the story that he was not a good guy. He did not do good things in the past with Tommy. And with Bill even told him not to trust anybody. If you do, that's gonna be the death of you. The
Yes.
second you start hanging around with other people, bringing them on your mission with you, you're gonna die because you
Yeah.
have to. You're not. Of course, you
Just
have
like
somebody
how,
watching your six, but at the same time, you know,
yeah, just like how he
this
treated
is
her in
all
the
about
beginning.
survival.
She was a
And
package,
yeah,
Joe made it.
and the thing about it is that he was selfish. This is a selfish man who,
That was a selfish thing to do, yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the thing about it is Ellie wanted to save the world. She
Right.
wanted to
She knew that she
have
was a
some meaning in
cure.
her life.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is a time period when she's the only person that's left, and whatever she has in her that can help humanity,
Mm-hmm.
is essentially her gift to the world, her bit
And
of meaning. And Joel
Yes.
said, "Screw the
fuck
world, let it burn. Let the world
Yeah.
burn."
Let the world burn. And know what's interesting is that
And-
at the end of this game, when he has that conversation with her, he says that if he had to go back and do it, he would do it all again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which is very
Joe-
interesting.
Mercs in here.
Yo, what's up, Merc? Burning the
Joe
midnight
might-
oil.
by him making that selfish decision and putting his love for Ellie over the human race, he doomed everyone. And not only by just what they tell you in the game too, is that anyone that could have possibly made a cure, he killed.
Exactly.
So
Yes, you're right. That was
they
another.
told you
yes.
that.
He killed the
So
doctor.
herd
that was-
immunity
yeah,
meant nothing
everybody.
anymore. I mean, it didn't even mean anything anymore because there was no one else no scientist, doctor that could possibly extract a cure because Joe made the selfish decision to murder these
Abby's
people.
dad, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he made a very selfish decision. And I never, at the end of that game, I kind of felt that Joel was selfish. And I could understand his decision, but I still felt it was extremely selfish. And you have to deal with that decision in this game. And what I like is, I actually, believe it or not, I hated Abby. But I'll
Yep.
tell you,
Yep.
when I started with her character, but I actually grew to like Abby's character more than I did Ellie. At the end of the game, I didn't agree with Ellie continuing on this quest for vengeance. I just said, at what cost? What does it cost you? What are you willing to give up to get this revenge? You sacrificed almost everything. You gave up your relationship. Your friends are dead.
Yep.
I mean, you have nothing left.
Yep. Everybody.
But also, I think another catalyst in this whole thing was Joel's brother. I think he's the one that said, "I'm going," and he and the whole remember Ellie wanted to go, but she didn't leave until he booked it. He told her not to go, and then he went, and then his wife was like, "You go get him and bring him back." So basically, he pulled her into this whole thing because he just went on a tirade and do it. Ellie wanted to do that.
He was trying to protect her. That's the thing.
Exactly. He was like, "You stay here." And then you don't go, but meanwhile he went, and then he was the catalyst for her to go and just destroy everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew that Joel wouldn't have wanted
Ellie to
he
go.
knew that Joel probably wouldn't have wanted
revenge.
to go after revenge, and so put herself in harm's way.
I also just to counter to that thing, just to jump to the end of the game. He's the one that basically sends Ellie to go kill Abby at the end in the third act. What is his? He's like, I can't go because I thought he was dead and he got his eye shot out.
Abby took the sight out of his right eye.
Yes, and she made him just a mess. So he
she shot him in the head
against her. So he wanted Ellie to go get her.
Do you guys remember the very first trailer? For this game? And
what happened?
The one they showed off where Ellie's sitting in the room, and remember when Joel walks into the house and there's all these dead bodies, and he's asking Ellie, are you really going to go?
Oh yes, you're right. When she's bleeding on the guitar, right?
I'm going to kill every last one of them. They were actually so smart to kind of, if you go back and watch that trailer now,
That didn't
I
happen.
cannot. And back then, I was like, is he like a ghost, like in her mind, like her consciousness, trying to tell her maybe you shouldn't go through with this? And they kind of foreshadowed that in a way,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they did it so smartly that it could have been seen as though, okay, Joel's really there talking to her.
Yeah.
But the whole time he was never there. He was in her mind.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
It was comforting too.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was so
put that
comforting.
one here.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because they made us hate Abby so bad. And then after you're taking out all these people, you know, you have these little moments with Joel, like when they went to the Smithsonian and
Yes.
you
Yeah, I'm
know,
playing it right now in the background.
oh my God,
Are
dude!
we
Like
ever- are
it
we-
took us back to, you know, when she learned how to swim. You know,
Yes.
finally.
Yes.
You know,
And now you can
and-
swim in the game.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, on her birthday.
You know,
Oh my.
are we ever going to get experiences? It's not this same type of experience, but to this level on the Xbox because, you know what? Like, I don't even know if they're trying to make these type of games.
No, they're not making these
because
type of games. That ship has sailed a long time ago.
I don't know.
And that's the
We'll
problem.
find out
like,
sooner or
it's-
later. Like, I mean, sorry, later more than now.
Yeah,
Because
these games are a dime a
I
dozen.
don't
But you
know.
want to know what's interesting is that it's not just this game. Like Ghosts has a great story
Ghost
to
is
it.
amazing.
Days
Yes.
Gone has a good story to
Yes.
it. Even Spider-Man had a better story than the half of the movies that had
True.
to it. The way they did it, like
qua-
they are not
Yeah.
stopping with the narrative and making these games a true art form in telling stories. It's crazy because it's not just this. Well, it's like only Naughty Dog could do this, but like they have they're even the creme de la creme of this. But all the other studios are making very effective stories, and the way Sony has been doing their cinematics with the
Right.
emotions and the face captures and the way they're marketing their games, it's just
The
very.
problem,
It's like amazing.
yeah.
And
The
Sean,
problem-
this is the legacy of Sean Layden, because he said himself before he left that this is what we're gonna focus on trying to make represent Sony.
Yeah.
You know,
The problem
there's- sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The problem with Xbox, the true problem I see, is they're letting Game Pass is Xbox now.
Yes.
The problem is they're letting Game Pass dictate the way they make games. So
Yes.
the problem is the Game Pass is directly affecting the way they're making their games. They have to make games that they can churn out quicker. So maybe they put out unfinished games that they add content to later. But that strategy allows that game to have legs on a service, because if you want to be able to do things that keep people subscribed, right? So if I tell you I can add content to this game over multiple years, you know, it's going to keep you kind of engaged. But the problem is that true sequels, like telling me I'm going to be playing the same Halo game, maybe not actually for 10 years, but using this as a base for a game that you're going to build upon for 10 years. The problem is that you still have that same game, that base game, right? You with a sequel, you get to make the game bigger and better.
Yes.
But with a games as a service model, I this generation, I've been very disappointed with some of the third parties, especially Ubisoft, and the way they treat their franchises as a we'll just keep building upon and adding to it. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Game Pass, because they want to keep people on this service, but this is directly affecting the quality of these games. And it's sad that but what they don't realize, if the quality is not there, people will not stay.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna subscribe to it. And remember, there's no commitments too. Like you go to month and you drop it. If you don't like the content, you just like, yep, I'm done. I'll jump on later. And that's why it's hard for them to just show over time how much growth it is. Like it's not as this kind of commitment. You know, it's gonna live or die by their first party content, unless they can get big third party to partner with them and really put their games on day one. But I don't think anybody's willing to do that now.
Isn't going to put third party, as we've seen, is not pushing.
Madden's not going in there. Call of Duty's not.
They're not innovating.
Yeah.
Third party is not innovating. If you look at a game like,
Yes, you're right.
you're not getting games of the quality like. I mean, you could compare Ghost to Assassin's Creed, but when I play Assassin's Creed, that gameplay
Nah,
stiff and
yeah.
so it's like the gameplay in Assassin's Creed has gotten worse, and as they went over to this RPG type, I'm not looking for third party to push these consoles and innovate, and
No.
we're gonna get that from the first
Yes, you always get that from the first party. Like even Nintendo games,
party,
like you
especially
wait.
Sony first party. And I want to see
Yeah.
Microsoft first party, maybe not be on that level, but yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I mean,
But
like,
it should represent quality and demonstrate the power and the capabilities of your machine.
Mm-hmm.
And now with them focusing on cross development with PC and,
Oh my
the
God.
console, the challenge comes to them is that they're really not a console solely developer anymore. Like Nintendo, when you get a Nintendo game, it's like, oh, let's turn some heads. And the same thing with Sony games. Yeah,
they're
you
making
get a Sony
content to sell
Studios game.
units. Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation Studios game, it's going to represent a certain expectation. Xbox Game Pass Studios, that's why I thought Bleeding Edge actually was not a good thing to do. They should have just left that thing away because it really put a kind of a black eye on Ninja Theory. Like, Ninja Theory is coming off this amazing Hellblade. It was like they're coming out of a studio. You just got purchased, and then you make your first game be a passion project that is so solely forgettable, and you put Ninja Theory's name behind it. Like,
But that's the thing with Ninja Theory. Like, Ninja Theory has always struggled, and this is good for me coming from a guy who loves Ninja Theory. I love Ninja Theory, but the reality of the situation is, name one game last generation that Ninja Theory got a sequel to.
Oh, you're right. They didn't get anything. They did Heavenly Sword, and that was it.
None. So the thing is, they could have been with Sony from the very beginning if people bought Hellblade. I mean, Heavenly Sword.
Yeah.
If people bought Heavenly Sword, you wouldn't have. Exactly. There was a backlash. I loved Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. But nobody bought them. And the funny thing is that game was basically the biggest Uncharted ripoff. It was so fun though. Like, it was so fun.
Yeah. Do you think there's gonna be another Uncharted? Like they're gonna do another one?
I think so.
Perhaps, maybe like a new generation, like or side quest or something like that.
Yeah. Sony can let these franchises rest because their studios, these big studios, are making multiple projects.
Exactly.
So they don't have to just keep making sequels to the same games. They can give us.
They got so much. You're right.
Right. From the same studio that gave us
Days Gone sequel. They could do a sequel to Death Stranding. They could do a sequel to God of War, which you probably know that's coming. Sequel to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sequel. Even they can't do The Order anymore because I think that studio got purchased, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. Which I liked The Order. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it
was
a good
game. Is still there, so.
Yeah, I think that I think I know kind of what happened with Halo Infinite. Really, the game, the Halo Infinite game. The problem is, I think that game was originally designed for the base. Obviously for the base Xbox One.
Yeah.
The problem is they're trying to make on a pretty weak hardware, make an open open world game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to cut down the quality of the character models and textures and all that stuff because you're trying to push more polygons in this open world.
And try to get 60 frames, right?
And try to get 60. But the problem is all they're doing is scaling this base Xbox OG Xbox One game up to the series. Well, it wasn't even running on the Series X; it was running on PC. But with that fundamental game, all you're doing is maybe raising the frame rate and raising the resolution. That's really all you can do. That's why the game doesn't have ray tracing because it wasn't designed with the Series X in mind. This is
of course, it's coming later. Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question though. Okay.
Horrible textures.
Go ahead. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna answer the question. So, like, watching The Last of Us, and I'm definitely seeing what you're saying with the trailer.
Yeah.
Whereas she's like there, killing them all, and she's sitting there playing the guitar, remembering Joel. And the way he shows up, like right here, it looks like he's a ghost, and he just is like coming in from a memory. And then, and she looks like I'm gonna kill them all, and like definitely the way he's. And actually, I'm looking. if there's any little subtle things where he looks like he's not making a footprints or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. But anyway, it was really effective. But like the thing is if you look at The Last of Us 2, and we just talked about the story
Mm-hmm.
and the emotion and the thing, and then you look at some of the games that Microsoft is delivering. What is the purpose of Microsoft's games? Is to keep you subscribed in a service.
Yeah.
What
They
is the
can't give you a
purpose of The Last of
single-player
Us 2?
game with-
Why
the
does The Last of
purpose-
Us 2 exist?
It exists because Sony, well, their talent is top tier. And when you got a studio like Naughty Dog, they've already made a masterpiece of Last of Us Part 1. They're giving their studios opportunity to make these
To tell a story.
thought-provoking experiences. And
Like a movie.
right, but they're not dictating to them, hey, this game has to have multiplayer. It has to have some kind of monetization. If you look at
yes,
Sony
we
first
need
party, their
engagement.
games don't have crazy microtransactions or games as a service type design. This is a single player, so-called one and done experience. But it's a experience at the highest level.
That's funny. We went full circle. Remember, like it was all last generation was all about multiplayer. It was all all about this stuff, and now it seems like some of those games, like they kept their group, but like again, the narrative. See, the thing is that Sony now etched out a niche. Like it targeted a group that third party was all going services, big platforms. Multiplayer, big games like Ubisoft, like you said, even Call of Duty, and everybody these kind of like these games, like even like a Tomb Raider tried multiplayer and tried to do these weird things with multiplayer, like turning her into an open world RPG type thing. Even with Tomb Raider, they try to do it. Sony is now they know that there is a want and a desire for these type of games, and now. With their partnerships for third party does the service stuff. Sony's like, you do that while we make these games. The challenge that Microsoft has is that they want to do what third parties already doing. So, like, we're going to make Halo a Destiny. Why? There's already Destiny 1. There's already Destiny 2. We're going to add Battle Royale. There's already Fortnite. You can't have your first party do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, that's a big problem for Microsoft because Microsoft came into the game doing what third party was already doing.
Yes.
And so and that's what they built their name on. That's the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
You see when Bungie bought Bungie was making Halo for Apple computers.
Yes.
And so they brought it over and then they just changed it into a FPS. The whole concept was already there, and then basically what they did was bring PC gaming to consoles, and then when the next generation, and then of course it was LAN party game in the beginning, but then the next console came, and then they got Gears of War, and then Sony found out about Gears of War, and then they changed the concept of Uncharted.
Yeah,
Uncharted was supposed to be a fantasy game.
They're not
like a Lord of the Rings game, and
you got to have balance. You got to have your indie games. You got to have your service games. You got to have your bangers, as they call them.
Yeah. But there's also competition. That's the thing because Microsoft didn't. They weren't looking to. They were looking to be the multiplayer online type company at that time. But the problem is their first party wasn't putting out the type of content that was needed to get the console selling the way that it should. They were relying so heavily on third party to do everything. Just like Sony's doing with the multiplayer now, because of the fact that they failed with MAG. Killzone wasn't the hit that they wanted.
Everyone's
it
like,
to be.
Sony needs to make multiplayer games. I'm like, not really. They don't really.
Well, but look at the quality of the multiplayer games that we even get from Microsoft. I mean, they have multiplayer,
not even what it
but
used to be
look at the
now.
quality of the games.
Gears 5.
They're not.
Multiplayer
Those are other
wasn't.
games.
They're not even up to the level of what third party's doing. So if you're going to play in that space where third party is thriving, if you're not going to make games up to the quality of at least what third party's doing, then what's the point?
Exactly. What's funny is like you say that like and the thing is too is that they say that Halo multiplayer is gonna be 120 frames per second, and it's like that Halo open world that's 60 frames looks like shit. What the hell is 120 gonna look like?
Well, it's gonna look like Minecraft.
Yeah, do you think like anybody playing
guess
Apex
what?
Legend is gonna jump into Halo Infinite? Like, no.
Listen, that free to play model. Let me tell you, that free to play model is you're gonna get exactly what you're gonna get a game. Okay, if it's running at 100, if that game is running at 120 FPS, because I'm telling you, the quality of the graphics in most games are better in the single player than they are in the multiplayer.
Yes, that's another point. Yeah, exactly.
The level of fidelity. You think we got that Craig thing? I don't even
From
want to
that's a multiplayer skin. No, it's not.
On multiplayer. Oh my god, it's gonna look awful.
Oh my god.
Craig is MVP.
Craig MVP. But yeah, the thing is like, I wanted to just recap just one last thing on The Last of Us too, because one thing I wanted to say too with the thing with Abby and the situation. One thing I had a little bit of a criticism with, and I want to get you guys' opinion while I have you on here. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
With Abby, do you feel that she recovered from killing Joel very quickly? Because I kind of feel, my opinion is that right after she whacked Joel, she goes back to the camp and she doesn't seem like, I know she was hunting him and it was very emotional to get him, but like she did it and I know she was probably at ease, but I just don't, do you think that like it took away a little bit, like she didn't feel like she did something, like she killed somebody?
Well, think about her being a soldier and
that.
Not
Yeah,
really
I get you with
having
that.
kind of
She trained to
feelings
kill
when
him,
it
right?
comes to having to kill. She's a trained killer, so I don't really see her feeling. It almost was like a mission for her. I think it was like a mission that she had her mind set on finishing. I don't think it was an emotional thing attached to it because that was her father. But I think for her, she was almost like a machine driven to complete this task. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she did it. But that's the way I look at it. Whereas Ellie's was much more emotional.
Of course, yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, Raven, what do you think?
The thing with Abby is that her story is so deep because of the fact that like,
it really
you
is.
You resolve an issue early on, and then you have to find out the reason behind it. Now, it's like
Hello.
Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you just blocked out for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with Abby, Joel took her father from him. The one person who meant everything to her.
And destroyed the whole Fireflies, her home. He killed, that was where she lived. Like, he killed them all.
Everything.
He broke the whole group up.
Exactly, and that was the last of the group. That group that defected to the WLF. That was the last of the Fireflies. Literally,
she traveled
Manny,
looking for a new place, and they were like outcasted Firefly. They were like the remaining group.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Owen is a splitting image of her father.
Oh,
so
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, if you keep looking, go back to when they were younger. Look at the older father, and then look at the younger Owen. So basically, it's kind of like that little thing where they say, the daughters like to marry the guy who reminds them of their dad.
Yeah, but she was so consumed with her mission for Joel, that she never really explored the relationship with him because he wound up with the Mel because she was so obsessed with the Joel thing. Right?
Exactly, and I was going to get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
This is why I say the story is brilliant. Because it's this whole line. You're chasing a ghost,
Yeah.
And that obsession that was created from chasing Joel, essentially caused her to become a workaholic. She did not miss missions. The little flashbacks that she had with Owen, she could never give her heart to him because of the fact that she was so obsessed with Joel. Every time they got close enough in a relationship, and the whole point is, and I think that a lot of people do not appreciate this enough because they just say, "Oh, it's about not getting revenge." It's not as simple as that.
No.
Revenge cost her everything.
Yep.
And the emptiness that she felt the amount of the inability to feel understood when she was in a love triangle because of the consequences of her behavior.
Yeah.
She has to deal with that. The whole thing with Joel was never over. Never over. It caused a ripple effect in other relationships, and now you're dealing with the fallout with other people.
Yeah.
Because this is sorry.
Oh no, I was saying, like, do you think that, like, just what you're saying, like, do you think the reason why she gravitated to those, the Sephirotes, like the kid and stuff, was Seraphites, was that like, was that her kind of her redemption to, like, well, I'm gonna love this person?
No, and that's the thing. It was so fluid because they saved her.
Yes,
it wasn't the other way around. And the thing is, like, the very kid who she had a problem with, kind of like Joel with Ellie, was the very person who she had to learn about and find that a reason for being, something that made her kind of like Ellie. Ellie's reason for being is to be the cure, first and foremost in the story, and it can almost seem for a second like having a relationship with somebody was a distraction. Joel created that lifestyle for her where she could have that distraction from fulfilling her fate. Living out what she was supposed to, having a normal life in Jackson.
Yeah.
Because, sorry.
Remember when Abby I think she tells Lev, I don't remember if it was Lev that asked, why are you? And she was like, because I need to do this. Like, she needed to take on this role of helping Lev and her sister, or his sister, from being killed, because she felt is that she needed to do something good, because she'd done so much wrong and so much bad being in the WLF, and the thing with Joel, I felt like she needed to do something to show that she could be a good person. And
she has a good person in her. That she woke up from her nightmares.
With that thing.
She could not sleep. She could not sleep. She had to go after.
You're right, because she kept having those flashback nightmares where she's walking in the hospital and seeing her dad, or like seeing and then she had that nightmare where now her dad was kind of replaced with the Seraphites, the people hanging, and that's why she had to go back and save them. Going like, oh, they're gonna get captured. I got to go back and save them. They saved me. I got to do that. Another thing, actually, a parallel to that, I was going to say, a parallel to that was Ellie's thing. I feel that a lot of Ellie's driving force to go kill Abby was because she felt guilt that she really never fully forgave Joel. And this was her kind of like her redemption. I was like, well, the only way for me to show that I really, trusted him, or I forgave him, because she was, and you find that at the end, like the night before he dies, she's like, I'm going to learn to forgive you. Like, I'm starting. Yes. And then he dies, and it's like, oh shit. Well, in order for me to do this.
She'll try. She was saying she would try.
She'll try. And she got robbed of that.
The moment that she truly forgave Joel was when she saved Abby. It was simultaneous.
Exactly, because that's the flashback that she has right when she's drowning her. Because I was like, oh shit, she's going to kill her. And then she gets that flashback of Joel sitting there, and then she realizes, like, you know what? I got to forgive.
Exactly.
Right.
But if
you
what's
can either
funny,
stop this, right? Because
she had to stop the loop. She had to stop this loop because it never ended. More people kept dying.
And then Lev comes back. It just creates an endless cycle
it was an endless
of revenge.
loop.
And at some point, you got to stop it. Either you stop this cycle of revenge, because it's an endless loop that's going to continue on and on and on.
And more people are dying.
And people continuing to die. And I think at some point, Ellie had to realize that she had to stop. And even at that time, at that moment when, like, you're walking towards that beach and they're getting in their boat.
Oh my god, so emotional.
And I was like, okay,
my god.
I was like, Ellie, just let it go.
Just let it go. Exactly. Just let it go. And then she has that flashback.
And Joel said it too. Joel, when you saw him, when it did that little fade in and he was playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And he was like, girl, I don't want you to do any of this for me. I did everything basically everything he did was so that she could have a normal life. That's all he wanted for her.
That's all
That's
he wanted.
all he wanted for her.
And I think Naughty Dog is so brilliant because that guitar throughout the whole game, playing the guitar,
Yeah.
was something that a skill that Joel
my
taught her,
God.
something that she remembered, something that came from Joel, something that she could hold on to and remember.
Oh.
And whenever the thing with the at the end when she tries to play that guitar, she can't anymore.
That was
because
the,
she's
oh
missing
my
those 2
God,
fingers.
that was like,
Dude, I almost shed a tear when that happened. When
I couldn't believe
lost
it when
her
she couldn't play
fingers.
that chord.
God, and she couldn't play
the chord. I was like, oh shit! And she left it there. She's like, that this is done too.
Man. That hurt.
It did, and you know what? It was almost like a tragic hero. Like it was just she basically. Like I want to go back and read the Odyssey and go back and look at the Odysseus, where the hubris and just like the whole thing of like what you do, like the consequences of your actions, but like you basically are a tragic hero. Like she just failed. Like she just became like totally. Like, we knew where you were going with this vengeance thing, but now you lost everything. And one of the things though. And I don't know if that's a proper analogy. I got to go look, but
because she wouldn't be considered a hero because of the fact that she did so much murdering. But I can understand where you're coming from, though.
But it's all a hero that just like it wasn't.
Batman's a tragic hero.
Yeah, like she lost everything, and would I tell you the 2 huge fight scenes, the one in the middle when you fight Abby in the theater. My God, when you control Abby and you're choking out Ellie, and Ellie was setting traps and doing it was like a mirror. It was like one of the like oh my God, it's the Mortal Kombat mirror match. You know, you both like she's like setting traps up and shit. That was so awesome.
That was amazing. Well, didn't you think that she was a little psychopath?
Yes.
Oh my God, Ellie is so dangerous.
You remember when Abby comes back from finding her friends dead and her and Lev go to the theater to basically kill Ellie and everyone else. And, I think that's when Jesse gets killed.
Yeah.
But it was like, I honestly, at that point, because I didn't see it. I thought she was going to kill Ellie. Like, I thought.
Just shoot her straight right.
Yeah, but she spared her. And I think at that point, Abby was like, just let it go, man. Like, I'm just going to let you live.
Well, she does when she's going to kill the pregnant girl.
She would have killed her. She would have killed her, but Lev saved her.
Yeah.
And
Lev came in. That was her conscience. Lev was the conscience saying, like, enough. Like, don't do this. And then she was going to kill Ellie and the pregnant girl. She's like, I don't care. Like, she was going to kill her. And then Lev came and said, don't do this. And that was her conscience. And, Ellie's conscience was her girlfriend. Like that was her check. Like to keep her in check. And the thing was I thought when Abby lets her live and they end it and that was the future and now she has the baby. They're together and I thought I forget the girl's name. What's the girl's name? The pregnant girl.
Dina.
Dina. That's it. I keep forgetting. I always forget her name. Dina. I thought Dina died. I was like, oh shit, it's just Ellie and the baby. And then you see her downstairs washing dishes, and you're like, "Oh shit, she didn't die." So like, it's a happy ending, and then all of a sudden, I thought it was the end too. I was like, "It's the epilogue, right?"
That's it. They just Naughty Dog's never gonna let us have it. I mean, especially Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann's not a sucker for happy ending.
No happy ending, right?
He's like J.J.R. Martin.
Dude, and then they get like Tommy, and then Tommy shows up, and then they basically sends Ellie, and Ellie's like, "I'm doing the suicide mission." Like that's it. Like it's just, it reminded me of like the end of like it reminded me of the end of like Mass Effect 2. Like it was just like, this is the suicide mission. There's no coming back from this. Just go kill her.
Yeah,
you're not gonna come back to a normal world after this.
When Dina pleaded with her, and Ellie still decided to leave, it was almost like I'm choosing my revenge over love and my happiness.
Well, she was having the PTSD, the PTSD she was having, right? The
PTSD.
I can't eat. You can even tell if you look at Ellie at that point in the game, she was a little skinnier than she was during the main campaign.
She looked sickly. She did look sickly,
Mm-hmm. And
she looked like
so. It was just the attention to detail in this game.
How many freaking models of each of these characters? I think like 6 different models of each of them, like all different stages of their life.
Yeah,
crazy. Like I was unlocking them.
Amazing.
Oh my god, it's insane. Like you look at them, you could see the emotion in them. Like, are they happy? Are they sad? Are
Or
they
you're
joking?
playing as Abby, and you're headed
Hmm.
right when you're headed back to the theater to confront Ellie after you find your friends dead or whatever. Like you look at her facial expressions,
She's
it's
like,
anger. Like
Yeah.
yeah, she's like
it's
really pissed. Yeah,
I'm gonna fuck somebody up. So
yeah, I know.
I didn't have any problem playing as two female characters. If you really break it down to all these critics and all this huge criticism and outrage, it
Yeah.
all comes back to the fact that Joel was killed.
Exactly.
Yes.
It all goes
They
back to it.
always go back to that.
Yes.
That's
They,
just that's just
the
what it is.
stupid little thing that Angry Joe says, "Oh, we could have found a way to make the story a
Abby.
different way." You know,
Tell
like
your own
you
fucking
you
story.
could have
But
made us play as Abby and have us understand her story. No, okay. Tell me, genius, how are you gonna keep her intentions
you know what's
under
interesting?
wraps? Huh?
Oh, what I'm saying is like what they should. Like the thing is that he had to kill him. That was the whole motive for the game.
Exactly. It was a
And you
plot
still got
device.
the payoff in
He's
the
a plot
flashback.
device.
And then the thing
It's
is like you still got the flashback of him telling her what happened, the truth. The payoff was
Exactly.
there. So it wasn't like they killed him and it's like, but wait a second, they just ended a storyline. He never told her what really happened, so she's just gonna find out from Abby. That's what I thought. I thought that Joel died.
It's just like
She's
Link
never gonna
said.
find
It's just
out,
like
and Abby's gonna tell him.
Yeah, it was just
Naughty
like what
Dog.
Link said before. Link said that which I thought was very good, that the director, this story is what the director wants you to see, and he's taking you
Exactly.
along for that ride. And
you do those
the problem is that, and I was listening to an interview, and it's a poignant thing. This is all about the human ego and
Yeah.
being able to let go and let a
Yeah.
story just be.
That's what
Find
I went
out
in
the
there with. I
intent
was like, take me on a
and what
ride.
exactly
This is a
these
fictional character, fictional story. But it's Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann's story, and this is the one that they wanted to tell.
It's
If you
just
want
the
to
same
make your
thing with
own game and
Marvel.
tell your own story, tell it.
It's the
But
same thing with
Exactly.
the Marvel
And trying to
universe.
tell
That's
him
why
that
they
he
had to
didn't-
announce it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because all the comic book people will go bonkers like, that didn't happen. Captain America didn't jump through time. What are you talking about? And they had to call it the Cinematic Universe because people like, my Captain America and issue blah, blah, blah never jumped through time. What are you talking about? You know?
yeah, but
And-
Marvel set their own example for time.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Why Marvel had to call it the cinematic. Hey, yo, this is nothing. A little bit of stuff of the comics for a little. Same thing with Walking Dead.
Yeah.
What do you mean? All these people died. Why all these people dying? Just Glenn died. Like, you know what I mean? The thing is, like, when there are people that, and that's even worse because they have a story that they followed that was already told by the person. Now somebody's interpreting it. This one is an original story. There was no like
original.
Last of Us, the Ellie Diaries, where she lived and it was a different story. This is the way the story should have been told. The way they told it was to make you think certain ways. Like they didn't have that Ellie flashback with Joel, though he told her until after the fact. So it's not like you didn't know that they had this conversation. You know, and that was effective.
There was so much, and the thing about it is, with hating Abby, not to take away from the whole Joel situation, but there was so much that they gave you, so much content that they gave you so you could feel for Abby as a human being.
Yes.
And if you could not get past to your ego, you would never get to see it. Like I was watching Angry Joe, and I was listening. Like I lost a lot of he's an entertaining guy, but now as a reviewer, I can't really take him seriously because there's a whole bunch of things that you can lay out, and of course there's that little tidbit with Mel being pregnant and going along with them, but that's explainable too in the story. But there's a part with Abby where it goes through little phases of her life where she learns how to increase her muscle mass. She's going through situations where she gets over her fear of heights. Actually, she still isn't over it, but she challenges herself. She grows as a person. But when she was with Owen, it shows you the beginning of her fear of heights when they were on the carousel.
Yep.
And and when she sees that somebody she loves and cares about is in trouble, she's gonna jump off the carousel for them. And that's what she went and did. That's why she went after Lev, because there's that little bit of humanity and that selflessness in her. She's not just a selfish person that Mel said she was. Mel doesn't know who she is. She's just seen the person that she became because of Joel. But if you actually know the
just
real
blinded
person,
for vengeance, and
But
she put
I
her
mean,
her boyfriend
did
at risk.
Naughty Dog make any promises that Joel was going to be there through the whole game? Did they?
exactly.
Joel was never
No,
a
they
hero.
didn't. They thought he was a ghost. They
He was
just,
there
but
when
they
made it
they,
to the
sh-
second
they
game.
showed him. Yeah, they never showed him that he was.
Joel was not this great heroic character
He never
that
was.
we should
No.
aspire to be. And so he was a flawed character we got
And
to know
lied
some of his
at the
past,
end.
but he was a liar.
Yes.
And he made selfish choices and selfish decisions. He was a murderous psychopath in a way,
Yeah, right.
and he would do whatever it took to get what he wanted. And so there are consequences to your actions. This is not Uncharted where you can just run around and gun down 500 people.
Yeah,
and
narrative
nothing ever
dissonance.
happens,
Yeah.
no one ever dies.
You're right.
This is not that type of game. And this is not all the people that are upset because Naughty Dog chose to tell the story that they wanted to tell. There's no way you can say, oh, this game, I mean, forget about reviews, but how can you say, oh, this is a 6 out of 10 because they killed Joel? Like this game, if you just take the gameplay, if you just take the quality
fight
graphics,
scenes, my
the gameplay.
God. That end fight scene where you're fighting in the water, I'm yelling at the screen in both the fights. I'm like, these two women, they have nothing left. They have lost everything. She has lost her family. They have like all what's her name has is Lev. But I'm like, they're fighting and they're throwing hooks. They're killing each other. They have lost everything. Even in the middle of the game, when you had that fight with her, they're struggling. I'm like, these two lost all their crutches. They lost all their things. And even more so at the end, because Ellie knows, like, what's her name's done. Like, Dina's done. I'm coming to kill you.
Well, I mean, Jez, that brings up a good point. The very thing that kept Abby going, much like Ellie, because Ellie, as we were talking about before, she was chasing Joel's ghost. Now you have Abby following in the footsteps of Owen towards that time. Remember when she went to California, she was searching for the Fireflies.
Because that's where Owen was going to go.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. And Mel didn't want her to go because if she came. Mel was going to stay behind with
Owen
the child.
wanted all three of them to go in the love triangle thing.
You know how she was on the radio when she was trying to contact the Fireflies?
That was crazy, yeah.
Were those Fireflies or were those the Rattlers?
Those are Fireflies. Those are Fireflies. Those are Fireflies. An outpost. And
those are
Rattlers. The Rattlers probably intercepted them.
Yes.
And they were.
I wasn't sure if the Rattlers set up the trap or if.
No, and if you watch the title screen it basically shows the boat with like the that
they made it to Catalina Island.
They made it to Catalina Island.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just wasn't looking.
She let her go.
Yeah, it was the Fireflies, and actually, what's pretty interesting is that the guy on the thing that listens to Abby, he basically goes like, "Oh, you're from Boston." Oh, and
exactly.
He kind of knew
when she gave the
that.
description of her father and herself. Yeah.
He knew it, so I think that's going to be another continuation or spin-off.
Exactly. Ellie has to sacrifice herself, and Abby is her in, and that's what I think's gonna happen.
Oh shit! You think Abby's going to go after Ellie and like say, "Hey"?
No. Ellie's going to sacrifice herself, and Abby's going to help her. Remember, Joel's out of the way now. He's no longer there to stop her from her destiny, from having meaning.
Yeah, Ellie ended it with just walking away, and like you don't know where she's going. Is she going to the Fireflies camp to to be a cure, or is she going back to try to get Dina back? Yeah, you don't know. She just ended that chapter with like Joel and like hey, it's done. Like it is what it is, and it's over. But like the ending fight. And just the way the thing was, I think it really took. First off, Ellie was hurt because she got stabbed on the side from the tree when she got into the trap. So she was like basically going in there on a suicide mission. She knew that it might. She stitched herself up, but like she was hurt. But when she saw Abby in the state that she was, like out there just burning on the stake, And just like, I think that she's just like, I thought I was gonna
You're
come
not going to
here.
get my kill. You crazy?
Yeah, like you're gonna get my kill. Or, but what's interesting is that what I thought was kind of weird is that Ellie cut her down and didn't just stab her or leave her there. Like she basically, like she could have killed her right there, but she cut her down and let her do her thing. And I think she was just like saying, "Hey, you know what? If she found Abby in like." If she caught Abby coming out of that house with a smile and with Lev and like we're going to see the Fireflies, I think she probably would have shot her.
Dead.
Right in
Oh
the
my
head.
god, Abby would have killed her.
Oh, Abby would have got like Abby. First of all, that was the other thing. I think the other reason why they made Abby so jacked up and they describe her as like the arms and all this other stuff, is that I think that she could just rip Ellie in half. Like I don't think that Ellie really stood a chance against Abby. Abby could beat the shit out of her, and you saw in the middle fight, Abby really could own. Like Ellie's more like creative and sneaky, but like Abby is just brute. Like she just come after.
Yeah.
It reminded me. I'm gonna tell you, like the one thing that I flipped out that I was like really. I was like, this is like Terminator 2. This is the intensity and fight that
Sarah
I
Connor.
thought. Yeah, well, no, not even Sarah Connor. Like just like the T8, the 800 versus the T1. Like just the T1000. Like it just basically was like this Terminator fight. Like what would happen when two Terminators fight? And then come together. Like that's what this was. Ellie and her was like a mirror match. It was like what happens when these two people have lost everything, who have similar skills, but like in different fashions.
And remember, she got starved. The heart of Abby fighting starved for months, and she lost her muscle mass. She lost everything.
She lost everything.
Like her whole.
They did it.
And
She trained.
She has no energy. She has no energy, and she still lasted in the fight with Ellie. That's gonna tell you something.
Some people wanted Ellie to get married to a man and have children, and they didn't understand why in this game she was a lesbian.
Well, they should have figured out the first game.
You clearly did
the DLC, but it that whole stuff it is what it is. But like I just think it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman in that whole thing. Like if it was the her and getting married and all that shit. The thing because the thing is too is that Joel says it at the end. He goes, "Dina really likes you." He goes, "Whoever likes you is getting a great person." Like. He says it to her. So he was accepting of whoever, that's his future. Like he was like, I saved you for somebody to love you and you be happy. That's what he says at the end of the whole thing. He's like, I accept. Like he wasn't like, oh, because they even have that guy say the homophobic stuff to her in the thing,
right.
And this thing, and Joel comes right in and goes like this. So it shows that like. It didn't matter. Joel just wanted Ellie to be happy and do that stuff.
Yeah. Joel's life belonged to Ellie.
That's it.
Pretty much.
He's like, I gave you this life. You do something with it.
Exactly.
That's how he felt.
Remember Last of Us 1? Remember Last of Us 1? When Ellie ran off and they found her in Jackson?
No.
Because remember, they went to Jackson in the first game.
I don't remember they went to Jackson. When did they?
Yeah, they went to Jackson.
Tommy, that
for Tommy. You're right to find Tommy. And yes,
she ran off. Ellie ran off with the horse, and she went to the house in Jackson in the
You're right.
Yeah, and so when Joel got, they killed all the guys and they caught back up with her. Basically, she got into an argument with Joel, and she said she basically was screaming at Joel, telling him that he's stuck with her. And Joel, from that point on, said, "I can't trust anybody with this girl."
Yes.
That's when he's changed. That's when, because he didn't want to deal with her, and he was like, she put him through a conflict where her life was on the line.
Yes.
She wasn't just a job to him from that day forward. And then
that's when he had to change
split
her
up with Tommy.
Yeah, because he said yeah.
And she was supposed to split up with Tommy, and she said, "You know what? I'm just taking her with me, and we're going where we're going."
That's awesome.
And also this series of games, if you look at it, it's about how do people cope and deal with loss.
Yep.
And especially loss of life and loved ones. And do you act on this? Do you just move on? Do you, Joel, whether it be his daughter being killed, it took Ellie to come into his life for for him to finally kind of move past that,
Yeah.
Sarah's death or whatever. And so, and it took a while, it wasn't immediate, but I think he felt like he had to preserve what he had with her at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was a selfish decision because he
It
put the
was.
life of one
It
person
was like his
over
rebound.
everyone
It was
else.
his rebound. Like,
Exactly.
he's like,
Yeah.
she
And
wound
he
up
had to
turning
pay for
into
the-
his responsibility, and then
and he had
he's
to
like,
pay
"I given
for-
you life."
He's like, you're not
Yeah.
special. Don't worry
He had
about
to
it.
pay for
You're
that
good.
decision. So, I gosh, I hope we can get some more experience. I know we'll get these. I know
hope,
we'll
man,
continue to
man,
bring single player
as long as they're
exclusives
still
from
doing games, that's
PlayStation.
why. And just to wrap up this whole Grinds My Gears, holy shit, it's been guys, I
Yeah,
appreciate you
it's
guys
great.
coming on. But the thing is too, just to kind of wrap this up, the thing is like that's why when we play these games and these stories are being told, we cannot have the methods of distribution and the methods of like reaching casual gamers and stuff like that tarnish these types of experiences. These experiences need to exist, and if nobody else is going to do them, and I'm not saying that only Sony can do them, Microsoft can do them, Nintendo can do them.
Yeah.
It's just that Sony is the one that seems to be hitting this with a lot of their games, and these still need to happen because these games. They're perfect to go with your Call of Duties and your services and your Minecrafts and stuff. But there needs to be a balance. We cannot have everything as a service. Just like, well, you subscribe to your TVs and to your movies. And movies are different than games, all right? Like games, you interact with them.
And Sony treats these games as experiences. They're not on the dollar menu. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. They're not
and
dollar bill
you're gonna-
games.
And they have those too.
Right.
They
Dollar
got those
menu games
too.
will
pay-
There's games for that.
People will pay $60 for these experiences. It's been shown. It's been proven.
Yes.
And
It's
I
not a
don't
man.
care
I'll check it out
about-
in PlayStation Pass. No, I'm gonna go
I
buy
don't
this
care
game
about
day one.
Game Pass and these dollar
You know.
deals and just listen. The game, the quality of the games reflects the service that they're on, and I hate to say that, but that's just what it is. And if you think that Game Pass is going to bring you these type of experiences, it's not. There's a reason why they nickel and dime you with microtransactions in these games because they're not making any money on the service, so they have to make money on microtransactions and all this other
All
stuff.
these sly ways. It
Games
happened in mobile
And
gaming.
I have to
Mobile
ask you guys
gaming
a
is
question.
perfect
Really,
example.
I have to really ask you guys a question. I want to get your guys' opinions. Has there ever been a game this year that made you think like this game and talk like this game?
No way.
No.
Point
I
proven.
mean, this generation, I don't
Point
know.
proven.
And you know what
Other
else
than
too?
maybe God of War.
Even God of War, for that aspect,
of
even
War.
that had such a different ending and such
Exactly.
a unique way. It's like, wait a second, like, there's a lot more to this whole thing with his wife
a
and
lot
her
more to
seeing the
this world.
future
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, what they've been doing is really, and even Days Gone, I'm not even finished that game, but like, even the
Remarkable.
story with that and his attached to his wife and the whole stuff that goes on, the emotion, like it's just the thing is that, and I've said this and I've seen this, and this is what happened when I bought the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4 in 2017, and I had it in the box, and Microsoft was talking about the X, and I was like, you know what? Let me play the PlayStation. I put the PlayStation on. I started playing. I played Uncharted 4. I was like, I played that game, and I was like, I stood up and started clapping. I was like, and then I looked to my left, and I saw my Xbox sitting there. I'm like, you would never give me this experience. All these years, like you have given me experiences, but like this is on another level, dude. This is on another level. And the thing is like, not only did Sony do that with their games, but they matched Xbox Live in the fact that they got the party chat, they got the stuff because they had some of these experiences with the PlayStation 3. It's just that the PlayStation 3 UI and connectivity was such a mess that it really was like you do not want to live there. You're like, you know what? This place is a shithole. I'm gonna come by, say hi, and leave.
Towards the end of that PlayStation 3's life cycle, they put out some bangers.
They put out those games.
And that's
the thing
the
is,
beauty of it.
Great games.
Perfect point. The PS3, one of the greatest comeback stories ever in the history of gaming.
Ended it with
They
games.
coming out a
came
year.
from they had a deficit of games that were we could sell the console. It's sold on name value. Metal Gear Solid
Right.
came out in 2008. Uncharted came out in 2008 as well. And then, sorry, no, 2007. And 2009, Uncharted 2 dropped, and that was it. It changed everything for Sony. Everybody wanted to get their hands on Uncharted 2. It sold PS3s like hotcakes. Xbox couldn't do anything about it. After Gears dropped, they didn't have anything to help them combat what was about to happen.
Yeah,
and it was like
then
an avalanche
on
just falling on their head.
Microsoft was cheaper. They were cheaper. They came out a year prior, and they had all the momentum.
They
and
closed
they
the
still didn't beat Sony. I'm telling you, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just going to be what it is. Microsoft's not interested in really competing. Only thing they care about is Game Pass, and that's just what it is. I'm so sick of. They can't even talk about anything Xbox and not mention Game Pass.
I know it is disgusting. Like it is not even a a subliminal message now. Now it's just like it is. This is it. Like this is it. And the Game Pass is it. And I give it about another 2 or 3 years, and we'll start seeing Game Pass on the PlayStations or on a Switch. Like I think it's just a matter of time.
I would just like to ask, just to have like I understand. Trust me, Microsoft grinds my gears too. Okay, trust me. I have a whole. Trust me, they all the nuts and bolts have already flown out out of the machine. You know, I just sold my Xbox. But the fact of the matter is that let's just look at this. Down the road, eventually, we have to see the fruits of their labor. Now, I'm not saying wait till E3, that whole thing. I'm saying that they have these games that are in the oven, and of course. Let's all cover our rears and get a PC, you know. But for all those, let's as gamers at least put out some hope for there because we want them to get quality games. Of course, they're gonna have those games as a service games, but we also want those experiences like Avowed to be what we hope they are. To be that Bethesda
not
killer.
Going to be.
You know, we want.
Look what they did to Halo, dude. Look what they did to Halo. If they're doing that to Halo, all those other games are going to be compromised. Avowed is going to be a little bit of a map each month they're going to give you.
Yeah, but that's what they get for taking too much advice from so many different parties. If they would have just listened to the Xbox community, the console community that pays for Xbox Live Gold and plays multiplayer for them, they would have just. And it's just like Smooth's friend Lord Attic said, just put the Halo 5 multiplayer in there, and put the Halo 4 storyline in there, and you're fine.
That's it.
You know
right?
what
Instead, they scrap it all and they make this open world mega game.
How about this? No one really cares. I'll be honest with you. Halo has nowhere near the impact that it had before. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And
look what they did with God of War, man. Look what they did with God of War.
They didn't. They're not reinventing the franchise. They're not. They're not scrapping. What they need to do. What they should have done.
It looks horrible.
It's just kind of did like a soft reboot, right? But no, they're not doing that. I bought the Xbox One and the PS4 day one. I pre-ordered both of them. Got them day one. I didn't really. I bought 360 was my primary console last generation. PS3 was just for the exclusive. Every third party I bought on 360. Well, that changed this generation.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I bought the X. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's so much more powerful." I didn't buy a single. Let me tell you something. I bought that on the PlayStation. And you know what?
Because it's where everything.
Tell you why I bought it on. Red Dead Redemption was 4K on the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
But
the X.
I buy everything on PlayStation now, and I started to realize that I buy no games on Xbox, and I don't play it. And I bought the Xbox One X. Total waste of money. I didn't buy a single game for the Xbox
They
One.
now discontinued the Xbox One X.
And this is the same problem that the Series X has.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Xbox One X. Just like you're saying, like. Outside of having Halo with it, what do they have? You know, like,
well, what happens if
everything else is timed exclusives? Everything else is timed exclusives The other games are still in the oven, waiting 2 years out down the road to come out.
That's crazy.
I'm not
That was the
buying-
biggest
I'm
thing
not
for the
buying
23rd was like
Yeah,
how
all you need is a
how
PC and just wait.
the thing is
I'm not
how
buying the series. I'm not buying it.
no.
Yeah.
The thing is like how far away these games really are. That's the really crazy thing that came out of the 23rd. Like, yeah, they showed their roadmap, but I didn't believe that their roadmap, these games were that far out. You know, because I'm like, that's what they've been saying for the last 3 years. It's like, oh well, wait, the studios are working on their games.
Keep waiting.
Keep waiting.
You're gonna keep waiting.
You know what's gonna happen. You know,
You're
by the time
playing around,
Avowed comes out, like PlayStation's gonna be like, here's Spider-Man 3 and God of War 2. It's gonna be like, Avowed.
Sony's not
Who?
staying behind for them. Sony's not
Who?
going
Sony's
to
gonna be
wait
hitting
for
their
Microsoft.
stride.
Fucking, they're
to
gonna
figure
have,
out who they
like
are.
Ellie. They're gonna have Last of Us 3 coming out with Ellie's
Listen,
Adventures, and they're gonna be like,
So-
Avowed. Who?
Sony's gonna be hitting their stride by the time these games even come out.
Exactly.
And they're going to be putting out some true next gen titles, because these titles are going to be fully utilizing this console, and they won't be held back by. Well, they're not. Their first party's not going to be held back by the PS4 anyway, because I feel like they're done making games.
Mhm.
First party's making games for PS4, but
Yeah.
I'm not buying. I don't game on PC. I built the PC some years ago to game on it. I have no desire to play on a PC. I don't care about PC. It's just not for me. I've tried PC
You're a
gaming.
console gamer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
just
console gamer too. I
console
dab on
gamer.
PC because of
But
Xbox games. Like,
if Microsoft showed me a reason, I just wanted a reason to pre-order the Series X when it came out. I wanted a reason to get it. They have not shown me a single reason to get a.
And they already fooled everybody with the
Series
X.
And that's
kind of
that's where the PR is so good, because the thing about it is let's look at this. Let's pay attention to everything that Microsoft has actually said. Microsoft said that the next gen, we're giving you the option to play on whatever console you want, in the Xbox ecosystem until the first 2 years. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do it? Because the games aren't ready. Because next gen for them does not begin until those 2 years are up.
Exactly.
And then they're
not ready. That's what I realized.
Look at that show. Look at that show.
It just shows that their PR is good. They can bullshit. They can
look at that show.
That.
Most of those games, most of those so-called exclusive games, the ones that are most of the ones that we're not getting anytime soon, if you look, they said Series X and PC. They did not say Xbox One. And one of the reasons why they're not Xbox One is because these devs are not going to continue to develop for this old-ass hardware.
Yeah, and not in 2 to 3 years from now either. Those games are out.
No, when the game is 2 to 3 years out from now, there's no way. What is the original OG Xbox? 1.3 teraflops or something like that?
There's no way that they were going to do that 2 years from now, like over 2 years from now. There's no way.
They're not. And they're lying.
That's why it's Phil Ness. Yeah, it's Phil Ness.
Exactly. Phil Ness.
Phil Spencer, man. Oh my God. Stuff that Phil should be doing instead of doing all these interviews, telling lies,
I know,
flip flopping. I don't believe anything he says. I don't.
The stream went down. I think YouTube's like, I hit my max. The hell happened?
I don't believe it.
Oh man, we can.
Oh no, it's back. It's back. We're back. The stream went down for a little bit. But no,
I'm done with Phil Spencer at Xbox.
Yeah, you're right. He needs to stop doing these interviews and stop the talking, because a lot of the talking has put them in the predicament that they are in. And the thing is, it's like, again, we're gonna end this on this note right here. You guys are gonna be here for a live grinds board, and basically,
enough from me. We're gonna have the games to
Phil got it.
Enough from me. Let the games do the talking, and that's what Phil needs to do, and stop talking. So I think he really loves himself. I think he loves doing these interviews, and I think that he's out there for his kumbaya message, because I think he's trying to throw a lore out there to try to gain mind share and be like, we're friendly and we're doing all this stuff, and meanwhile, he just wants to get you on his service boat, and take you out to the sea and dump you like Dexter.
I think Xbox wants transparency. That's it.
Oh my God, transparency! I can't.
And doesn't set your expectations too high. even though they set the bar so high
They
that
deliver.
it's unfathomable. Exactly. Like it's just the same thing with COD and Activision. Activision pisses people off left and right. But whenever there's a big situation with Call of Duty, do you hear them say anything? Nope.
Nah.
You know, and that's what
So
got EA in trouble with Star Wars, wasn't it? You know,
if you're gonna
you know
talk,
when they had the
you
loot
gotta back
boxes
it
and
up.
everything.
You gotta
That's
They were
right.
like, "Don't buy the game, man. Keep playing."
But dudes,
This
thank
is
you
the
so
last
much
thing I
for
have to say.
coming
This is the
on.
last thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I have one more thing to say.
Sorry.
When Phil Spencer said that, what did he say in one of his recent interviews? Is that the gamer is the center of what they're trying to do with
Yeah.
Xbox. If games are not the focus,
Mm-hmm.
then what's the point of the console?
You won't have the gamers, yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's the thing. It's not the Xbox gamers. It's that they want all gamers.
They
2
want
billion of
mobile.
them.
They want the guys on the play on the phone and stuff like that. But the thing is like the thing is I always say he did the wear, like all the things that they're doing definitely shows to, like, you know, to a gamer. The problem is that the games, the content, that's the stuff that is lacking. So like
Exactly.
you're not gonna get any. It's like, you know, it's like I'm gonna go out into the woods. Okay, ready? I'm gonna go hunt some deer. I got the best shotgun. I got the best camo. I got food for when I'm hungry. I bought the hook so I can get into the trees and all that other stuff. So I got everything where it is. But guess what? There's no deer in these woods. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not throwing any bait out there. Like, there's nothing there. Like, it's like, who are you shooting at?
To
Wait,
save my bullets.
do you know you're in a you're on a beach? I'm like, wait a second, I'm on a beach. Yeah, you're on a beach. There's no fucking deer here. Oh, I'm like, I'm ready to get the deer though, but like you need to go to the right place. You need to have the bait. You need to get the gamers are not going to come to you just because you're Phil Spencer. People are going to come to you because you have the content. That's why
Exactly.
I say this. For Xbox
The
to
hook.
say Game Pass is the future, guess what? If Game Pass is the future, you better jump on right now like you did with the 360, because as soon as Nintendo and Sony flip that switch, you're dead.
They do.
Xbox lost
Because
they have been
games.
building IP and games over all these years that all they got to do is go, Sony be like, you know what? Game Pass is taking off. Hold the phone. Yo, Gordon Ramsay, turn the switch. He goes like this. He goes, enough of me.
Idiot
Let's hit the
sandwich.
games. That's it.
You're an
He goes,
idiot sandwich.
PlayStation, Game Pass, go. And all of a sudden now, here come all the God of Wars. Here come now all the games that come compromised. But the thing is that they have a legacy of games, of content. Nintendo's doing it right now. They're making their NES games as a part of their $20 subscription a year. Like,
Yes.
the thing is that Nintendo and Sony are building IP. That's the biggest problem Microsoft had. They're doing backwards compatibility with games that people are not playing with now. Who the hell wants to play them next year?
Who wants
Who
to
wants
play
to play
them
with
in
them
high
5 years
resolution,
from
high
now?
frame rate?
Yeah, but just this generation, Nintendo's had a hard time building IP compared to Sony.
Oh, of course. Sony did gangbusters.
Sony did amazing.
They did
Amazing. They
gangbusters.
made Nintendo look like beginners.
Yeah, Nintendo's trying to recoup all the bullshit they lost with the Wii U. That's why they basically made like a Wii U remastered with the Switch. We're just gonna put all the games that we had on the Wii U on here because everybody missed them. But the thing is like the same thing happened with Zune. Zune was a music subscription. It was before the iPod and all the other stuff. Then Xbox Game Pass. It was before Spotify. It was before Deezer and all these other ones. And who's around? It's gone because you want to know why? Microsoft has this overall issue. I have all Microsoft products, and I did a lot of them, and I got screwed by a lot of them because Microsoft just abandoned them, going like, you know what? That's not.
Yeah, I had a Zune too.
You know, that's not working out. Connect.
Look at all these
I
things.
beta
It's
tested
just
it.
working.
Not working.
Drop it.
And the thing is that they just like Mixer. Drop it. You built a community there of people. Nobody thought like, yo, if we just abandon these people, that's not going to be good publicity. You know, what's the vision? And actually, the vision was more important than the community. Yeah. Just like Game Pass is more important than the Xbox core gamer. Ever since Phil has put his games on PC and Game Pass and cloud, he has abandoned the Xbox people that paying Xbox Live for since 2001. He has not delivered content to those people.
Why does PC have exclusives that aren't on the Xbox?
That's a
Why
good
does
question because that's
Microsoft
for
have
next gen.
exclusive
Because those
on
games are
Xbox?
PC.
They're
Those
gonna
games are
announce that one
PC
for the X
first.
Watch. They're gonna announce that for the X.
No, but
The
those
Series
games
X.
are
What?
those are PC first. Because you want
The
to know
Gears game.
why?
The Gears game.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
the
been
thing
on
is, like, those are
PC
PC
already.
first.
Exactly. Whatever real
Didn't that
estate that they
franchise start on the Xbox?
it did
Gears.
and
Flight
PC. It
Simulator's
started on
not
Gears
there
and
either.
PC. It
But
was
the thing
Gears and
is, you
PC.
can never,
I mean,
you
sorry,
can't
360 and
abandon,
PC.
you can't abandon your core audience. You can't.
Exactly.
You need to take your core and you need to grow it out. And that's what
Yeah.
Sony does with its stuff. Like, here's Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, here, put it on PC. We're selling it for $15 right now on the PlayStation
3 years
4.
later, 4 years
Yeah,
later.
and it's $15 right now. You could buy it. So those dudes on PC on Friday gonna pay $50 or $40, $15. I could buy it right now. The Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation. But know what that is?
And
That's
the thing is
that's a
that-
law
sorry.
to get them. That's a law to get them to come buy a PlayStation 5 when Horizon 2 drops. They're not coming to the PC guys going, "Yo, Horizon didn't do well on the PlayStation 4. We're going to put it on other platforms to see if it does better." That's Xbox. That's why Xbox went to PC. This stuff wasn't doing well on the console. They needed more than what it was. They weren't reaching out because Microsoft's in it for the 2 billion people.
Games.
No. And the thing is
Game
if you
Pass.
reach 2 billion people, right? If you want to go 2 billion people, how can you ignore a console
forget
market
about your
of over
core?
100 million and the Switch that's growing? You're going to have to go
They
there
forgot
too.
about their core audience.
They
They've
did.
abandoned their core audience, and that's just what it is. But yeah, it was a great.
Oh yeah, thank you
be able
again,
to
guys.
hop
It's been over
on
3
and-
hours. I gotta go to bed. Holy crap! But
Yeah,
it
me
was
too.
awesome. I'm losing my voice because this is a 3-hour grind. But thank you again for the support, guys.
It's a church.
It is
Yeah,
church.
no
Man.
problem.
That's it. Church is over.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
having
douse
us.
myself in water. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you again. Yeah, I gotta drink some water now. I'm a
Thank
mess,
you.
my voice. But yeah,
All right,
thanks again
thanks,
for
man.
coming on, guys. And it's been a pleasure. Grinders again. This has been a great show. We had to end it with a grinds table, and I want to thank you. Hit the like button, share it out, and thank you again. We are out.
Thank you. Later.
Yeah, shout out to Link and to Ravenflow. Thank you again, guys. Great conversation.
Hey.
And where can they find you guys? Before I didn't end it yet. So where did they
Where
find
you
guys?
are.
Where I
you
am?
are.
Oh shit, no. You find you guys the grinders, OG grinders in the chat. You'll get them in there. But thank you, Guapzilla, coming staying late. Yo, later,
Yep.
guys. Thank you very much. Again, this has been Grinds My Gears, Jez77. Like the video, share it out. Follow me over on Twitter. And I am Ghost of Tsushima. Let's do my outro here. There we go.
Okay. Night, Jez. Have a
Hey,
good one.
man. Thank you again, man. Thanks, guys. Good
Thank
night.
you.